Chapter 12:27. Lin Xian's face was also pale. With his outstanding soul power, he could naturally feel how terrifying that flame domain was. That flame domain made his hair stand on end. A domain is also called a king's domain. It's something that can only be obtained after entering the king realm. Sovereigns use their martial spirits as a source of energy, while kings use their domains as a source of energy. A king's domain is an independent domain developed from the martial spirits. Within this domain, the opponent's battle power can be multiplied. The Crimson Dragon's explanation shocked Lin Xian. He realized that this domain was similar to a small independent space. Of course, it hadn't become a real space, but it was still terrifying. Once he fell into the other party's domain, he was afraid that only death awaited him. Brat, you should be proud to die under my 9 underworld devil flame domain. The heavenly Netherbird's voice was cold. Around him, countless black flames formed a unique domain that was like hell. It was extremely terrifying. In the next moment, his huge body charged towards Lin Xian with the 9 underworld devil flame domain. The domain's power was too terrifying. Everywhere it passed, the void was shattered. It could be said that the domain contained the essence of a king's energy. It was extremely powerful, and even sovereigns couldn't contend against it. Facing the heavenly Netherbird's king's domain, Lin Xian's expression was extremely solemn. There was only a bit of energy left in the Azure Pine Sword. He had to kill it in one strike. Otherwise, without the Azure Pine Sword, he wouldn't be able to fight against the heavenly Netherbird. Looking at the heavenly Netherbird getting closer and closer, Lin Xian took a deep breath and slowly raised the Azure Pine Sword. "Ha, it's useless. You can't break my king's domain." The heavenly Netherbird sneered. "I'll let you know what hell is in a moment." "Damn it, brat. Why don't we leave? Don't fight with him anymore. This guy can use the king's domain. His battle power is definitely super strong." The Crimson Dragon's expression was also unsightly. However, Lin Xian decisively shook his head. He had to continue fighting, because there was still a chance of survival if he fought, but running away meant certain death. Looking at the 9 underworld's devil flame domain that was getting closer and closer, Lin Xian's sword god erupted with a resplendent light. In the next moment, just as he was about to slash out with his sword, an old sigh came from the void. Sigh. This voice was low, but it was incomparably clear. As soon as it appeared, it caused the entire deep pine hall to tremble violently. Even the heavenly Netherbird that was flying in front of him suddenly stopped. Its face was filled with fear, as if it had seen a ghost. "Damn it! Who is it? Get out here!" The heavenly Netherbird seemed to have been provoked, as it roared crazily. Its roar caused the entire void to boil and set off countless shockwaves. Lin Xian's arm also stopped in midair. He could clearly hear that the sigh came from the Azure Pine Sword. Could it be? Lin Xian slowly lowered his arm and looked at the Azure Pine Sword in his hand, his expression uncertain. At that moment, the old voice sounded again. "Tian Yu, I didn't expect that after thousands of years you would really come out." Hearing this voice, the heavenly Netherbird immediately exploded. It screamed in fear, "Old man Song Song, how is this possible? Aren't you already dead?" Humans and monsters were not the same. Monsters had long lives, so it was not a problem for them to live for thousands of years. Humans, on the other hand, were different. Even the strongest kings could only live for 2,000 to 3,000 years. It was impossible for them to live any longer. Therefore, even though the heavenly Netherbird could not defeat Song Song, it was still alive while Song Song was dead. Impossible! Old man Song Song can't have lived for so long. "Who are you? Stop pretending to be a ghost. Get out here. Back then, it was because you were too cruel. That's why I sealed you. I didn't expect that after thousands of years, not only did it not erase your ruthlessness, it even made you worse." You've really wasted my painstaking efforts. The old voice sounded again. Then, a pale figure leisurely floated out from the azure pine sword. It was an old man with white hair and a white beard. He wore a Taoist robe and had the demeanor of an immortal. Old man Song Song, it's really you? Seeing the illusory figure, the heavenly nether bird could not help but scream. His eyes were filled with fear and dread. Damn you, old man Song Song. You actually dared to seal me for thousands of years. This time, I'll definitely destroy your nest. With that, the heavenly nether bird coldly snorted, and the 9 underworld devil flame domain burned fiercely. Carrying the king's domain, he charged towards Lin Xian in an even more violent manner. Feeling this energy, Lin Xian's scalp went numb. The pale figure in front of him sighed. Then, with a grab, the azure pine sword in Lin Xian's hand flew into the old man's hand. In the next moment, the azure pine sword exploded with a bright light. It was like a green sun shining in all directions. A shocking aura exploded from the long sword. This sword chi was too terrifying. Just the aftermath alone caused a 1,000-meter-long crack in space. Song Song held the azure pine sword in one hand and quickly slashed out a ray of sword chi. The sword chi was thousands of feet long. It was like a green dragon roaring in the sky. This sword slashed directly towards the heavenly nether bird and fiercely hit the 9 underworld devil flame domain in front of him. Immediately, a shocking explosion occurred. The devil flame domain was mercilessly torn apart, causing a terrifying crack to appear. The heavenly nether bird was even more affected. Its mountain-like body was sent flying. Damn it, this is impossible. You're just a broken soul. How can you have such powerful strength? The heavenly nether bird went crazy. It could not believe it. That sword chi was too terrifying. It almost split open its 9 underworld devil flame domain. Although his strength had been greatly reduced in the past few thousand years, and he was no longer as powerful as he was in the past, not just anyone could split open his domain. Moreover, the opponent was just an afterimage of Song Song's soul. It could not use much power. Song Song was also very surprised. He looked at the azure pine sword in his hand. His eyes flashed. What a powerful sword spirit. It's rare in the world. Young man, is this your sword spirit? Song Song looked at Lin Xian. Greetings, senior. That is indeed my sword spirit. Lin Xian answered honestly, not bad, not bad. The younger generation will surpass us in time. Even I didn't have such a sharp sword soul back then. Young man, your future is limitless. Song Song said. Senior is too kind. Lin Xian and Song Song were talking. On the other side, the heavenly nether bird was going crazy with anger. Ever since he broke out of the seal, he had not met with anything that went smoothly. Now, even Song Song's afterimage had appeared. This made him very uneasy. Old thing, you're just an afterimage. You can't use much power. Once I kill you, I'll destroy your entire Azure Pine Palace. Let's see who can stop me. Chapter 12:28. Indeed, you're right. I'm only a broken soul. I can't stop you. Hearing this, Lin Xian's expression changed. Senior, please use your full strength to subdue this ancient demonic beast. Otherwise, if he escapes, the entire Tianwu continent will be in chaos. The Crimson Dragon stomped his feet in anger. Fuck, this old man's strength isn't enough, but he still dares to come out. Song Song wasn't anxious at all. He slowly said, although I can't kill him, I can still teach him a lesson. Then I'll have to ask Senior to do it. Lin Xian said. He didn't want to fight with the terrifying heavenly netherbird anymore. It was a king realm expert, and it even had a king realm domain. It was too terrifying. However, old Taoist Song Song stared at Lin Xian and asked in a low voice, Young man, do you want to try beating up Tianwu? What? Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were both stunned. Beating the heavenly netherbird? How was that possible? Unless Lin Xian was a King Realm expert. The Crimson Dragon also muttered, "It's over, it's over. This old man is crazy." In the distance, the heavenly Netherbird laughed. "Old man Song Song, I think you're crazy. A broken soul imprint wants to beat me? What a joke." The heavenly Netherbird's expression was one of disdain. If it was Song Song at his peak, he might be afraid. But now, it was just a broken soul imprint. He didn't need to worry. Lin Xian also had a strange expression on his face. "Senior, you're not joking, right?" Beating the heavenly Netherbird was indeed exciting, but Lin Xian knew that it was impossible. After all, the heavenly Netherbird was an existence that even kings feared. How could he beat it? However, Song Song smiled. "Don't worry. Since I said so, I naturally have a way. Although I can't raise your cultivation to the king realm, I can suppress the heavenly Netherbird's cultivation to the sovereign realm. You're talking about the astral chains." Lin Xian's pupil shrank as he thought of a possibility. "That's right. It's indeed the astral chains. Back then, I used the astral chains to trap him, just in case. I didn't expect that I would finally have to use it now," Song Song said slowly. In the distance, the heavenly Netherbird's expression changed when it heard this. He realized that the old Taoist Song Song's words were very likely to come true, because the 4 astral chains on his body were too miraculous. They had been suppressing him all these years, and not only had his cultivation not improved, it had actually weakened. Now, that old Taoist Song Song's broken soul had recovered, and with the help of the stellar key, his cultivation might really be suppressed. At that time, he would probably be in trouble. Damned old ghost, go to hell. The heavenly Netherbird went crazy. It held the Netherworld demon sword and used its king's domain to quickly charge forward. This time, he was truly determined to kill. He was determined to kill all of them. However, old Taoist Song Song took the stellar key from Lin Xian and quickly formed a seal. Suddenly, the stellar key released a dazzling light and formed a starry sky map in the air. Numerous stars were floating and spinning in the void, flickering unsteadily. When the starry sky map appeared, the heavenly Netherbird screamed in pain. The astral chains on his body seemed to have come alive and were making clanking sounds. The originally pitch-black chain had shed its black outer layer and was now emitting an azure light. Every ray of light formed a star. In the end, the 4 astral chains carried a sky full of stars and completely surrounded the heavenly Netherbird. No! The heavenly Netherbird roared crazily and used its king's domain to resist. However, it had been suppressed for thousands of years, and its strength was not as strong as before. Moreover, the astral chains were specifically used to suppress it. Therefore, it did not struggle for long before it was surrounded by the stars. The direct result was that the king's domain around the heavenly Netherbird quickly disappeared. Not only that, its aura plummeted, and it quickly fell to the honorable realm. In the end, the heavenly Netherbird's cultivation stopped at the 8th heaven of the honorable realm. Soon, the stars in the sky disappeared, and the heavenly Netherbird's huge figure appeared. However, at this moment, its aura was no longer as strong as before. Not only that, but its eyes were also filled with fear. It was no longer an invincible existence. It was only at the 8th heaven of the honorable realm. It won't be able to maintain this state for long, so it's best to end this quickly. After using the secret technique, the old Taoist Song Song's figure became abnormally blurry, as if it would disappear at any time. "Thank you, Senior," Lin Xian said respectfully. Then he turned to look at the heavenly Netherbird, his eyes shining. If it was the heavenly Netherbird before, he would not be able to fight against it. However, it was different now. The heavenly Netherbird was suppressed to the 8th heaven of the honorable realm, which was the same strength as him. Therefore, he was not afraid of it at all. With a clang, Lin Xian pulled out the Lone Star sword from his back and quickly attacked. Astral sword technique. He waved his sword, and countless sword rays shot into the sky, turning into meteors that bombarded the heavenly netherbird. This sword technique was comprehended by Lin Xian in the astral pavilion. When he used it now, it could be said to be extremely powerful. Ah, reptile, go to hell! The heavenly netherbird fought back with all its might. Although its king's domain was gone, its 9 underworld demon sword was still there. Therefore, it held a huge black demon sword and quickly met the attack. Bang, 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 bang. The two exchanged dozens of blows, and the heavenly netherbird was defeated. Ah, I'm so angry. The heavenly netherbird was so angry that its lungs were about to explode. It was an ancient demon beast and a peerless beast on the heaven ranking. Now that it was defeated by a young human, it could not accept it. However, its cultivation was completely suppressed, and it could not use it at all. Therefore, even if it was angry, there was nothing it could do. Moreover, the human youth in front of it had truly shocked it. Previously, it thought that the other party could only fight against it because of the Tsang Song sword. But now its cultivation was suppressed to the 8th heaven of the honorable realm, which was 1 level higher than the other party. However, it still could not defeat the other party. Moreover, the other party was not using the Tsang Song sword. This made it understand that the young man in front of it was definitely not an ordinary martial artist. He should be a genius among the human martial artists, someone who could fight above his level. After being sent flying again, the heavenly netherbird was in an extremely sorry state. It gritted its teeth and roared, "Brat, I'll spare your life today. Once I recover my strength, I'll tear you to pieces." With that, it turned around and flew into the sky. It spread its huge wings and was about to fly into the sky. It had been too humiliating today, and its cultivation had been suppressed. It did not want to fight anymore. It wanted to find a place to break the suppression of the astral chains, and then come back to kill these people. At that time, no one would be able to stop it. Unfortunately, it was too optimistic. How could Lin Xian let it go? Chapter 12:29. Therefore, Lin Xian used the dragon-catching hand the moment the sky serene bird flew into the sky. 2 huge dragons coiled around each other, forming a giant hand that grabbed towards the sky. In the next moment, the sky serene bird was caught by the dragon-catching hand. Get lost! The sky serene bird struggled as black flames burned all over its body. It wanted to retract the giant hand. However, the dragon-catching hand was extremely mysterious. Legend had it that it could even capture a giant dragon, let alone a sky serene bird. Furthermore, the dragon-catching hand was infused with the power of the great dragon sword spirit by Lin Xian. It was extremely powerful. The 2 real dragons roared. They were so lifelike, as if they were real. They quickly coiled around the heavenly serene bird and dragged it downwards. Boom! The sky serene bird crashed into the ground, creating a huge crater. Lin Xian waved his hand, and 4 huge light swords of wind, thunder, water, and fire appeared, surrounding the sky serene bird and trapping it. Lin Xian held the killing sword in his hand and walked forward step by step. "I'll give you a chance." Hand over a little bit of essence blood and a trace of flame origin, and I'll let you go. Otherwise, don't blame me for beating you up. Lin Xian was very excited. He never thought that he would be able to beat the sky serene bird up one day. This feeling was too good. "Brat, you're courting death." The sky serene bird roared in anger. However, what awaited it was a sharp sword. The sword landed on the sky serene bird's body and made a huge sound. However, what was shocking was that such a sharp sword did not leave a single mark on the sky serene bird's body. This caused Lin Xian to be incomparably shocked. However, he quickly understood. This was because the sky serene bird was very similar to the crimson dragon. They both had strong physiques, but their cultivations were suppressed. The sky serene bird screamed and roared. He knew that his opponent was able to injure him previously because of the ashen pine sword. Without the ashen pine sword, his opponent would not be able to break through his defense. Knowing this, he completely relaxed. Ha 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 ha, lowly worm. So what if you've trapped me? With your strength, you can't break through my defense. The sky serene bird sneered. Humph, I really don't know what you have to be so proud of. Lin Xian coldly snorted and quickly waved his sword. Sword chi shot out like rainbows and ruthlessly slashed the heavenly netherbird's body. The sky serene bird forgot one thing. Although Lin Xian's long sword couldn't break through its defense, it didn't mean that the sword chi wouldn't hurt. Therefore, it didn't take long for the heavenly netherbird to start screaming. Damned brat, I'll tear you to shreds later. The heavenly netherbird gritted its teeth and stared fiercely at Lin Xian. You dare to threaten me? With another slash, the heavenly serene bird wailed again. However, what shocked Lin Xian the most was that the heavenly netherbird's physique was too strong. Even after slashing so many times, he still couldn't hurt it. This was simply inconceivable. Kid, stop. Don't waste your energy. You won't be able to break through his defense if you continue like this. The crimson dragon shook its head. As an ancient divine beast, it naturally knew how strong the heavenly netherbird's physique was. In order to break through the heavenly netherbird's defense, one would need to be at least at the king level, or Lin Xian would need to use the Tsang Song sword. However, Lin Xian didn't dare to use the Tsang Song sword because there was no more energy inside. If he used it, the Tsang Song sword would probably break. At that time, the old Taoist Tsang Song's shadow might disappear as well. At that time, who knew if the starry chains would still be effective? How about I set up a killing formation? I don't believe that I can't break through this guy's defense. The Crimson Dragon was also thinking, should I set up an immortal execution formation or a demon slaughter formation? The names of these formations caused the heavenly netherbird to tremble slightly because these were all famous formations from the ancient times. Although it didn't believe that Lin Xian would be able to set them up, it was still very surprised. This was because it realized that the Crimson Dragon was probably the same as it was. It was also a peerless, vicious beast, but it had lost its cultivation. However, Lin Xian shook his head slightly. There was no need to go through so much trouble. He would try using the 10,000 bee sting. With that, Lin Xian took out the 10,000 bee sting. When the black cauldron appeared, the heavenly netherbird's pupils shrank and it screamed. An earth rank artifact. It didn't notice it during the battle, but now that it was looking at it up close, it immediately felt that the 10,000 bee sting was extraordinary. With its knowledge, it naturally recognized that the black cauldron was an earth rank artifact. Moreover, it was a complete earth rank artifact. Immediately, the heavenly netherbird broke out in cold sweat. It didn't think that a few humans would have a complete earth rank artifact. Moreover, Lin Xian was only a sovereign. Even the old Taoist Song Song shadow was shocked. Humph, an earth rank artifact requires a huge amount of power. It's impossible to use it without reaching the king realm. The heavenly netherbird held onto its last glimmer of hope. However, it soon despaired because Lin Xian didn't use it at all. Instead, Lin Xian raised his arm and smashed the 10,000 bee sting towards it. Clang! Lin Xian used the black 10,000 bee sting as a brick and smashed it against the heavenly netherbird's body, causing a deafening sound to resound. The heavenly netherbird was in so much pain that it started to cry. Lin Xian's arm was also numb. Damn it! Its defense is so strong. I don't believe that an earth rank artifact can't break through it. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and used all his strength to grab the 10,000 beast sting again and smack it. This time, the heavenly netherbird was in so much pain that it wanted to die. Lin Xian's face was gloomy because he still hadn't broken through it. "Brat, you're hitting the wrong place. Hit its head." The crimson dragon decisively grabbed the 10,000 beast sting and smashed its claw on the heavenly netherbird's head. The heavenly netherbird saw stars and almost fainted. After this attack, the heavenly netherbird was completely convinced it was simply too painful. Unlike the Lone Star Sword, the 10,000 beast sting was a true Earth rank artifact. Its power was no joke. Although it didn't have any external injuries, it had suffered internal injuries. Many of its bones had been broken. "Stop! I'll agree." The heavenly netherbird roared. "It's just a drop of essence blood and a trace of flame essence. I'll give it to you." It was completely terrified. "You should have done this from the start." Lin Xian let out a sigh of relief. "You didn't have to force me to use my last resort." The crimson dragon's eyes were wide open. It had finally obtained the heavenly netherbbird's essence blood. In the next moment, the heavenly netherbird reluctantly handed over a drop of essence blood. A drop of essence blood was only the size of a fist. Although it looked small, the energy it contained was incomparably pure. The crimson dragon's face was filled with ecstasy. It hugged the essence blood and quickly dived into the beast bag. "Brat, I'll go into seclusion for a few days." The crimson dragon roared excitedly. His roar woke up the snow-white monkey. The latter unhappily rubbed its eyes and jumped onto Lin Xian's shoulder. Lin Xian rubbed little white's furry head and stared at the heavenly netherbird. "Okay, I've given you the essence blood. Next is the flame essence." Chapter 1230. The heavenly serene bird gritted its teeth and unwillingly pulled out a black feather from its tail. It contained a trace of the origin flame. The heavenly serene bird threw it to Lin Xian. However, it was snatched away by the little white monkey. Little White looked at the feather and shook its head. Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat. He didn't care because he felt that Little White must have its reasons for doing so. As expected, the little white monkey threw the feather to the ground and quickly scanned the heavenly serene bird's body with its black gemstone eyes. "Damn, monkey, what are you doing?" For some reason, the heavenly serene bird was scared by the little white monkey. However, the little white monkey didn't care at all. It stared at a black feather on the heavenly serene bird's tail and quickly flew over. "Damn, monkey, you're looking for death. Get out of my way." Seeing the little white monkey's actions, the heavenly serene bird almost went berserk. Although the feather that it gave Lin Xian contained the origin flame, it was very rare. It didn't give anything good. However, it didn't expect the little white monkey to find it and target the feather on its body. How could it tolerate this? Therefore, it tried its best to dodge. However, in the next moment, a furry paw gently patted its head. It saw stars. The world was spinning. It felt terrible. Although it didn't faint, it couldn't move at all. The dizziness lasted for a short time. However, it was enough for the little white monkey to pull out the black feather. Therefore, when the heavenly serene bird woke up again, Lin Xian still had the origin feather. The heavenly serene bird stared at the little white monkey and Lin Xian with murderous intent in its eyes. That was an origin feather. It contained a large amount of origin flame. Now that it was taken away, its strength was definitely affected. However, Lin Xian was very satisfied. He could naturally sense that the black flame aura contained within the feather before him was much denser. The origin flame contained in this black feather was clearly much stronger than the previous one. It seemed like the heavenly netherbird was only trying to deal with him. It didn't plan on giving him a good origin flame, but he didn't expect the little monkey to discover it. Furthermore, from the looks of it, This feather must be extremely important to the heavenly Netherbird. Since that was the case, Lin Xian happily accepted it. After obtaining the primordial feather, it wouldn't be long before Lin Xian would be able to condense a flame martial soul. At that time, he would have 4 martial souls. His combat strength would definitely reach a terrifying level. However, he didn't leave immediately because Lin Xian knew that once the heavenly Netherbird regained its strength, it would chase him all over the world. Therefore, he had to come up with some life-saving methods. In the next moment, Lin Xian controlled the 10,000 beast ding and planted a beast slave seal in the heavenly Netherbird. Although he knew that the beast slave seal couldn't completely control the heavenly serene bird, it could still restrict it. Moreover, if he was really anxious, he could use the 10,000 beast cauldron and the beast slave seal. After doing all this, Lin Xian no longer cared about the heavenly Netherbird. Instead, he turned to old Taoist Song Song and bowed seriously. Then he turned into a ray of sword light and left. Damn brat! You dare to steal my primordial feather and plant a beast slave seal in me? No matter where you run to, I'll kill you! The heavenly Netherbird roared at the sky. It had never suffered such a huge loss before. On the side, old Taoist Song Song looked at this scene and shook his head. In the next moment, the illusory figure disappeared into the stellar key. Then, the stellar key exploded with a dazzling light. Old Taoist Song Song used the last of his energy to cast a spell to suppress the heavenly Netherbird's cultivation. When all this was done, old Taoist Song Song's figure was no longer there. The Song Song sword had also turned into countless fragments and disappeared into the sky. Damn you, old Taoist Song Song! Damn you! The heavenly Netherbird was extremely furious. It naturally knew that it wouldn't be able to recover its strength in a short period of time. It didn't expect old Taoist Song Song to be able to suppress it even after his death. However, although it roared, there was nothing it could do. In the distance, ever since Morong Qingcheng and the others left, they heard a series of roars coming from the Song Song Palace. The sound was extremely terrifying. Even though they were so far away, they could still feel a sense of fear. They naturally knew that it was the heavenly Netherbird's roar. Therefore, Morong Qingcheng, Zhao Shui, and the others were all worried. This was because Lin Xian was still inside. On the other side, the people from the Palace of Gods of War sneered. Who does that brat think he is? How dare he negotiate with the heavenly Netherbird? He's really courting death. Don't worry, he's dead. He won't be able to come out this time. It's just a pity that we lost those treasures. Thinking about the stolen storage rings, the martial artists from the Palace of Gods of War gritted their teeth. However, they didn't dare to act rashly because the heavenly Netherbird's terrifying aura was still present. Moreover, they soon felt a violent energy fluctuation coming from behind them. It seemed that there was a great battle going on. The battle was extremely intense. It was even more intense than the honorable realm. This power, how is it possible? Are there kings fighting? One of the powers belonged to the heavenly Netherbird. But who was the other one? Could it be Lin Xian? Impossible. That brat is only a 7th level honorable realm. No matter how strong he is, he can't unleash the power of a king. Could there be other experts inside? Thinking of this, everyone felt a sense of fear. Fortunately, they had left quickly. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to escape if they had encountered such a terrifying expert. Everyone was paying close attention to the battle at the Pine Palace because it would determine whether they would be safe for the rest of their days. However, in the end, they realized that the terrifying energy and aura had disappeared. The battle is over? Everyone was shocked. As they were very far away, they didn't know what had happened at the Pine Palace. Both powers had disappeared. Could it be that they had perished together? If that was the case, that would be great. The people from the Palace of Gods of War were excited. Without the threat of the heavenly netherbird, they didn't have to fear anyone. However, Murong Qingcheng was very worried because they didn't know how Lin Xian was doing. "I'll go and take a look." Sensing the changes in front, Zhao Shui was prepared to go and investigate. "I'll go with you." Murong Qingcheng was also worried. However, the elders of the Murong family stopped her. "Miss, we don't know the situation at the front. Why don't we wait patiently?" Murong Qingcheng was their family's hope. Therefore, they didn't want him to risk his life. Just as the two sides were arguing, a sword light suddenly streaked across the void. Someone came out of the Pine Palace. Someone shouted. Immediately, everyone looked forward with bewildered expressions. Could there be someone alive after such an intense battle? Could it be that peerless expert? Chapter 1231. They were certain that it was not the heavenly netherbird. If the heavenly netherbird had come, it would have been a scene of destruction. However, there was no such scene, so it was not the heavenly netherbird. Why does that figure look so familiar? F***CK. Isn't that Lin Xian? Everyone exclaimed. Lin Xian? How could it be Lin Xian? How could he have survived such an intense battle? The people from the Palace of Gods of War did not believe it. They did not believe that an honorable warrior could survive a battle between kings. It was simply impossible. But in next to no time, their expressions became extremely unsightly because they'd already seen the figure clearly. It was Lin Xian. Damn it, he's still alive. How is this possible? What kind of luck did this guy have to be able to survive? The people from the Palace of Gods of War looked as if they had seen a ghost. Murong Qingcheng's side cheered. Zhao Shui also heaved a sigh of relief, and a smile appeared on her cold face. She was relieved that Lin Xian was fine. Murong Qingcheng also mumbled in a low voice, "I knew it. This guy would be fine for sure." Lin Xian naturally saw Murong Qingcheng and Zhao Shui. His body flashed, and he landed in front of them. "Lin Xian, it's really you. It's great that you're fine. What can happen to me?" Lin Xian shrugged. "How did you get out? What's the situation in front? Is the heavenly netherbird still alive?" A group of martial artists surrounded him and kept asking him questions. There is a remnant soul left behind by a peerless warrior in the Pine Palace. He fought with the heavenly netherbird. The heavenly netherbird is still alive, but he's injured. I'm afraid he won't be able to recover in a short period of time. Lin Xian said. Of course, what he said was not the whole truth. At least, he did not tell everyone about the battle between him and the heavenly netherbird. Knowing that the heavenly netherbird was injured and would not be able to fight for a short period of time, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. As for the Palace of Gods of War's side, their expressions were unfriendly as they all surrounded him. When Lin Xian took their storage rings, they didn't dare to do anything because of the pressure from the heavenly netherbird. But now that the heavenly netherbird was gone, they had nothing to worry about. Even though Lin Xian was strong, they had 2 8th level venerables on their side. Moreover, they had many other experts as well. Thus, they weren't afraid of Lin Xian if they really fought. "Brat, I didn't expect you to be so lucky to be able to come back alive. However, don't think that you'll be fine, just like that. How dare you steal our storage rings? Spit them out right now. Not only that, but you also have to hand over all the treasures on your body to make up for your crimes." Duan Tianqing had no intention of letting Lin Xian go. Looking at the group of people from the Palace of Gods of War, the Murong family was also very cautious. After all, the other party was also a huge force. If they really fought, both sides would suffer. On the other hand, Lin Xian's expression was calm. He wasn't even afraid of a powerful existence like the heavenly netherbird, let alone these people from the Palace of Gods of War. Moreover, the battle with the heavenly netherbird had benefited him a lot. It could be said that his battle experience had greatly increased. The people in front of him were no match for him. Last time, I was in a good mood and allowed you to use your storage rings to buy your lives. I didn't expect you to forget and provoke me again. But this time, I'm very curious. What do you want to use to buy your lives? You're courting death. Attack. Duan Tianqing roared. Then, the martial artists from the Palace of Gods of War and the Palace of Gods of War surrounded Lin Xian, and the others, Duan Tianqing and Yan Feng, faced off against Lin Xian, while the others stared at the people from the Morong family and the Merry Woods. Brat, you're dead this time. I'll kill you with my own hands. Yan Feng stared at Lin Xian, his voice ferocious. However, before he could finish his sentence, he saw a human-shaped lightning bolt charging towards him. Boom. Yan Feng was caught off guard. He didn't expect Lin Xian to attack him so suddenly. There was no warning at all. Therefore, he could only passively defend. In the next moment, the boundless power of lightning quickly surrounded him. The powerful force numbed his entire body. You're courting death. Seeing Lin Xian defeat Yan Feng in one move, Duan Tianqing roared. He quickly unleashed his martial soul and pounced on Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted. Without another word, he summoned the 10,000 beast ding, grabbed it in his hand, and slammed it forward. Clang! The sound of metal clashing rang out. Instantly, everyone's scalp went numb, and their faces turned pale. Duan Tianqing bore the brunt of the attack and was sent flying. Damn it! Impossible! What is that thing? How can it be so powerful? Everyone was stunned. That was an 8th heaven-honored realm cultivator. It was unbelievable that he was sent flying with one move. The people from the Palace of Gods of War looked at Lin Xian with cold sweat on their faces. Now, they regretted provoking him again. In an instant, those martial artists were all stunned. They didn't dare to move at all. Tell me, how do you want to buy your life this time? Lin Xian stepped on Duan Tianqing's body and said coldly. Duan Tianqing was so angry that his body trembled. He spat out blood. He had never been humiliated like this before. However, Lin Xian was too strange, especially the black cauldron in his hand. It almost destroyed his martial soul in one move. This made him extremely terrified. However, he had already lost his storage ring. At this moment, he didn't have anything else to lose. Therefore, he could only grit his teeth and lie on the ground pretending to be dead. Lin Xian naturally understood that the other party didn't have anything on him. However, he wouldn't let them off so easily. Moreover, he thought of something. He had to clarify this matter. Otherwise, there would be a lot of trouble in the future. I need you to tell me something. If I'm satisfied with your answer, I can let you go. Otherwise, all of you can stay here forever to accompany the heavenly Netherbird. Hearing Lin Xian's words, the surrounding people trembled. Their eyes were filled with fear. Duan Tianqing also gritted his teeth and said, Tell me, what's the problem? Why do you want to kill me? Logically speaking, even if I offended Prince Ling Feng, the Palace of Gods of War shouldn't have sent experts like you, right? Yes, this was the question that Lin Xian had always been puzzled by. He realized that Duan Tianqing and the others weren't on the same side as Prince Ling Feng. Although both sides wanted to kill him, they weren't on the same level. Therefore, he thought that there must be some reason that he didn't know. You don't know? Duan Tianqing was also stunned. In his opinion, Lin Xian should have known about this matter. It seems like those people didn't tell you. Who? Speak clearly, otherwise don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Xian said coldly, You should know that the palace master of the Palace of Gods of War is in seclusion. The vice palace master is preparing to seize power. Therefore, the Palace of Gods of War is divided into 2 factions. Yes, I know. Lin Xian nodded. What does that have to do with me? Chapter 1232. Duan Tianqing took a deep breath and continued. When the palace master was in seclusion, he drew a painting and asked all the martial artists in the Palace of Gods of War to welcome and assist him. The person in the painting is you. What? Hearing this, everyone was stunned. The ordinary martial artists in the Palace of Gods of War were also stunned because this painting was only seen by the higher-ups of the Palace of Gods of War. And those higher-ups didn't spread the news, so ordinary martial artists didn't know at all. This Lin Xian actually had such a close relationship with the Palace of Gods of War. The martial artists from the other factions were even more shocked. Lin Xian frowned. Then he seemed to have thought of something and quickly asked, "What's the name of your palace master? What does he look like? Hurry up and tell me." He thought of a possibility. Although it was unbelievable, he had to ask clearly. Lin Xian was very excited because he thought of a possibility, so he had to confirm it. Duan Tianqing didn't plan to hide it because this matter couldn't be hidden at all. After Lin Xian went out, the other people in the Palace of Gods of War would definitely come looking for him. The palace master of the Palace of Gods of War is called Lin Zhan. As for what he looks like, I think you should know. Lin Zhan. Hearing this name, Lin Xian's body trembled. It was just as he thought. Although he was very shocked and didn't dare to believe it, it was probably the truth. Lin Zhan was his father's name. Lin Xian didn't expect his father to be the palace master of the Palace of Gods of War. But how was this possible? One had to know that his father had only left him for about 3 years. Before that, his father had always been in the Xia country of the Tianan region. How could he suddenly become the palace master of the Palace of Gods of War? The palace master of the Palace of Gods of War was at least a king. What kind of opportunity could allow a spirit transformation realm martial artist to become a king in such a short period of time? Lin Xian didn't dare to imagine at all. However, the facts before his eyes showed that the palace master of the Palace of Gods of War was really his father. Thinking about the sword heart pendant his father gave him, and the words left in the ancestral land, Lin Xian felt that his father might not be as simple as he looked. There should be some shocking secret on him. As for what the secret was, he would probably only know when he met his father. With news of his father, all his problems were solved. Lin Xian finally understood why Duan Tianqing and the others wanted to kill him, because Lin Xian's true identity was the young master of the Palace of Ares. In the future, if there were no accidents, he would be the one to inherit the Palace of Gods of War. How could the vice palace master allow such a threat to exist? That was why there was a series of pursuits. Lin Xian did not expect that he would be involved in this kind of power struggle for no reason at all. He was afraid that there would be many fierce battles in the future. Duan Tianqing gritted his teeth and said, "I'm done. Can you let us go now?" Scram. Lin Xian kicked him away. "Tell your vice palace master to not have any ideas about the Palace of Ares. Also, it won't be long before I personally make a trip to the Palace of Ares." Everyone gasped. Judging from Lin Xian's tone, it seemed like he wanted to start a war with the Palace of Ares. Now, many people had already guessed some terrifying news, and their eyelids twitched. They did not expect that Lin Xian had such a shocking origin. Duan Tianqing crawled up from the ground and led the Palace of Gods of War away. This time, he definitely did not dare to provoke Lin Xian again. Lin Xian also sat to the side to rest, but he was constantly thinking. He had already found his father's whereabouts. All he needed to do was meet up with them at the Palace of Gods of War. Furthermore, after doing all this, he still needed to return to the Tianan region and rescue the entire Lin family from his ice seal. After dealing with the matters of the Tianmu continent, Lin Xian would fulfill his promise to Zero and leave the Tianmu continent. He would go to a wider world and fulfill his promise. This promise was naturally related to the Niwa of Gojoseon and the legendary Danzong. Lin Xian would not forget this. In the next few days, no one ran around. Instead, they waited quietly because the day of departure was approaching. However, on the day before they left, there was another change. That was because in the distant Deep Pine Hall, an extremely berserk demonic aura surged out. It swept through the 9 heavens as if a peerless beast had awakened. Following that, a thunderous roar rang out. "Damned brat, where are you? Come out. I'll definitely kill you." This voice was filled with boundless killing intent. When the cultivators in the distance heard this, their expressions changed, and they even began to tremble. The heavenly netherbird. That's the voice of the heavenly netherbird. Damn it, it's revived again. Not good. The heavenly netherbird is coming. Everyone, run. Everyone panicked and began to flee. There was no other way. The heavenly netherbird was too powerful. Even kings were not its match, let alone people like them. Thus, they chose to hide. As long as they could hide for another day, they would be able to leave safely. Lin Xian also frowned. He did not expect the heavenly netherbird to recover its strength so quickly. This was not good news for him. Furthermore, if the heavenly netherbird left this place and arrived at the Tiemu continent, it would probably cause a storm of blood. Furthermore, his current strength was not enough to contend against the heavenly netherbird. If they met again, it would be very troublesome. On the side, Zhao Shui and Murong Qingcheng looked at Lin Xian suspiciously. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. The brat that the heavenly netherbird was talking about. Could it be you? What did you do to make it so angry? Murong Qingcheng's face was filled with doubt. Zhao Shui was also very curious. Lin Xian said indifferently, "It's nothing. I just plucked a feather from it and let it bleed a little." "What? You injured the heavenly netherbird?" The two of them were shocked. This was shocking news. What kind of existence was the heavenly netherbird? It was a peerless demonic beast. It was at least king level. However, such a terrifying existence was actually injured by Lin Xian. This was too inconceivable. "It's not that exaggerated. I wasn't the one fighting. I just took advantage of the situation." Seeing that Lin Xian was unwilling to say more, the two of them did not continue to ask. However, they did not stop here. Instead, they quickly fled into the distance. Right now, the only thing they could do was to leave safely and not let the heavenly netherbird cause trouble. The heavenly netherbird searched around and did not find Lin Xian. It was incomparably furious. Thus, it continuously bombarded everything around it. Immediately, the forest and mountain peaks were all flattened. However, this situation only lasted for half a day before the heavenly netherbird disappeared. Not only that, the terrifying pressure also disappeared. This allowed everyone to breathe a sigh of relief. However, that night, that terrifying aura surged out once again. Lin Xian furrowed his brows when he saw this strange scene. Chapter 1233. According to his guess, the heavenly netherbird had not completely removed the suppression of the astral chains. Furthermore, the suppression had become extremely unstable, which caused its strength to fluctuate. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. At least for now, the heavenly netherbird was not invincible. It still had its weaknesses. This way, even if it went out, it would not dare to be too ostentatious. Otherwise, it would be surrounded by the kings of the Tiemu continent. A night of danger passed. The next day, just as the sun rose, the entire remote sky secret realm became different. Everyone felt a mysterious force rejecting them. They knew that the remote sky secret realm was about to close, and they would be teleported out. The force grew stronger and stronger. Finally, someone disappeared. Seeing this, everyone was ecstatic. The last 2 days were like a nightmare. They had spent it carefully, afraid of being discovered by the heavenly netherbird. Now that they could leave this place and escape this danger, They were naturally overjoyed. Lin Xian, I'll leave first. When I return to the Tianmu continent, I'll look for you. Murong Qingcheng waved her hand and left with her clansmen. On the other side, the people from the Palace of Gods of War looked at Lin Xian with complicated expressions. Then, they were also teleported out. Zhao Shui, how did you get in? Lin Xian was very curious. However, Zhao Shui looked at Lin Xian and smiled. Lin Xian was very familiar with that smile. This was clearly the Zhao Shui he knew. However, in the next moment, that smile disappeared and was replaced with a cold expression. The Zhao Shui in front of him did not notice the change in his expression at all. Instead, she said in a deep voice, I sneaked in from a rank 6 sect. I should be teleported back to where I came from. But don't worry, I shouldn't be in any danger. Lin Xian was not worried about this. After all, Zhao Shui was not weaker than him. Even an 8th level honorable might not be able to do anything to him. However, what really worried Lin Xian was Zhao Shui's situation and that strange smile. In that moment, Lin Xian clearly felt that the Zhao Shui he knew had returned. However, in the next moment, that feeling disappeared. This made him extremely puzzled. However, he couldn't explain it now. He could only wait and see. There's something wrong with your friend. After Zhao Shui left, Zero's voice sounded. What is it? Lin Xian asked. The cultivation technique she practices is very strange. It seems to be able to produce a second soul. What? You're saying that there are 2 souls in Zhao Shui's body? Lin Xian was shocked. You could say that. Upon hearing this, Lin Xian was completely stunned. He knew that there was something wrong with Zhao Shui's body, but he never thought that there would be 2 souls in her body. This was unbelievable to him. No wonder Zhao Shui's personality changed so drastically that she could not even recognize him. It seemed like her original soul had been suppressed. Is she in danger? Lin Xian asked. She's fine now. Her original soul should be asleep, but it will definitely be dangerous in the future. Maybe the soul produced by the cultivation method will replace her original soul. After all, the void sky eye was an extremely strange technique in the ancient era. There were many talented geniuses who practiced it, but they all fell in the end. There's actually such a thing. Lin Xian frowned. He realized that Zhao Shui was in a bad situation. What can I do to save her? The 2 of them could be said to have gone through thick and thin together, so Lin Xian would not sit back and do nothing. Don't worry. With your current strength, you can't save her. Moreover, I suspect that this cultivation method itself is a conspiracy. This matter can't be explained in a short time. Leave this place first. I'll explain it to you later. Zero's voice disappeared as a force was added to Lin Xian's body. In the next moment, Lin Xian disappeared from the spot. A mysterious force of space brought Lin Xian out of the hidden sky realm quickly. When he opened his eyes again, the scenery around him had changed drastically. It was no longer the primitive forest in the hidden sky realm, but the scenery of the immortal martial arts academy. I'm back. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. After more than 3 months, he was finally back. Lin Xian, it's Lin Xian. He's out. Below. The crowd was excited and endless shouts could be heard. Brother Xian. A group of Dragon Sword Pavilion disciples waved and shouted. Everyone's gaze fell on Lin Xian. However, in the next moment, everyone was stunned. This aura, 7th heaven, venerable. Everyone exclaimed because they could feel a terrifying aura emanating from Lin Xian. Although he did not deliberately release it, the pressure still made their hearts jump. The surrounding elders were also shocked. If they remembered correctly, Lin Xian's cultivation should only be at the 4th heaven, venerable, when he first entered. However, they did not expect him to break through to the 7th heaven, venerable, in just a few months. This kind of breakthrough speed was truly shocking. Of course, they still didn't know that Lin Xian was now able to beat up an 8th celestial layer martial artist. If they knew, their jaws would probably drop from shock. Dean Xian was also surprised, but soon after, he revealed a smile. As expected of the legendary person, this kid's strength and talent are indeed heaven-defying. 7th Heaven Venerable, Brother Xian, you're too strong. Wang Li and the other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion rushed up and surrounded Lin Xian with exclamations of surprise. Don't worry, I brought back a lot of treasures this time. When the time comes, I'll definitely let you guys improve, Lin Xian said with a smile. He would not be stingy to the people around him. Really? That's great. Thank you, Brother Xian. Brother Xian is domineering and mighty. A group of people cheered. At this moment, the void above fluctuated again, and one figure after another appeared. Among them were Dugu Aoqian, Li Yunfei, and the others. Everyone exclaimed again, because they discovered that Dugu Aoqian's aura had also reached the 7th Heaven Venerable. Although Li Yunfei's aura had not reached the 7th Heaven, he had reached the peak of the 6th Heaven Venerable. It seemed that he would be able to enter the 7th Heaven Venerable soon. This made everyone exclaim. The 3 strongest disciples of Senma College had greatly improved their strength at this moment. The elders were also beaming with joy, because their harvest this time was indeed not small. However, in the center of these people, there was an exceptionally shocking figure. It was a young man who was only a few years older than Dugu Aoqian. He was tall and looked like a god fiend. At this moment, his body was emitting a monstrous aura. Even the elders were extremely shocked. 8th Heaven Venerable, everyone exclaimed as they looked at the figure, deeply shocked. Is he also a disciple of our college? Why don't I know him? Heaven's 8th Heaven Venerable. Such a young 8th Heaven Venerable. He's heaven-defying. The group of people were shocked and puzzled at the same time. Judging from his age, he should be a disciple of the college, but they did not know him at all. Chapter 1234. I know. He's a disciple from the previous batch. He's only a few years older than us. He stayed in the punishment hall after graduation. I didn't expect him to enter the remote sky secret realm this time. And his cultivation has increased to the 8th heaven of the venerable realm. Soon, the news about Meng Tian spread among the crowd. He was ranked 3rd on the previous mysterious sovereign leaderboard, a member of the punishment hall, and an 8th heaven of the venerable realm. Every piece of news shocked the crowd. Dean Xian and the others also smiled in satisfaction. Yes, someone had finally entered the 8th heaven of the venerable realm. This made them feel relieved. Actually, some people felt it was strange because the Immortal Martial Academy was also hailed as a king-ranked power. But for people like Dugu Aoqian and Li Yunfei, their cultivation bases were still slightly weaker when compared to the core disciples of the royal clans. However, this did not affect Senma College's status. Dugu Aoqian and the others were still a little young. The ones who could be compared to the core disciples of the House of Kings were people like Meng Tian. These people were very young and very talented. However, according to the college's rules, they could no longer become disciples of the college. They could only stay in the punishment hall. However, in terms of age, talent, and cultivation, these people could compete with the core disciples of the House of Kings. After Meng Tian bowed to Dean Xian and the others, his eyes finally fell on Lin Xian. Dugu Aoqian, Li Yunfei, and the others also looked at Lin Xian. They were then shocked. This was because they realized that Lin Xian's cultivation had also reached the 7th heaven of the venerable realm. Looking at his strong spiritual power, it did not seem like he had just reached the 7th heaven. His aura was even stronger than Dugu Aoqian's. Among those present, Only Meng Tian could suppress Lin Xian in terms of cultivation. This made Dugu Aoqian, Li Yunfei, and the others very depressed. They originally thought that they would be able to surpass Lin Xian after coming out of the secret realm. However, they did not expect that they would still be behind. The gap between them seemed to have widened. Meng Tian was also amazed. Although his cultivation level was higher than Lin Xian's, his martialist intuition made him feel a little scared when he faced Lin Xian. This feeling was very strange. One had to know that he was at the 8th celestial layer, while Lin Xian was only at the 7th celestial layer. If this were to spread out, perhaps no one would believe it. However, Meng Tian did not let his guard down because he believed in his instincts. Junior brother Lin, we didn't see you in the end. Where were you during that time? Yeah, Lin Xian, you made us so worried. The elders shook their heads helplessly. Before they entered the remote sky secret realm, Dean Xian had reminded them to protect Lin Xian. But not long after entering the mystic realm, they would lose Lin Xian. Fortunately, Lin Xian had come out. Otherwise, if something happened to him inside, they wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Lin Xian also had an apologetic look on his face. He thanked the elders and everyone for their concern. He had made them worry. During the last period, I went to the Pine Palace, Lin Xian said. What? The Pine Palace? You really went there? Meng Tian and the rest were shocked. The elders also broke out in cold sweat. Although they didn't go to the Pine Palace, they knew a thing or two about the situation inside. They didn't expect Lin Xian to go to such a dangerous place. Junior brother Lin is indeed bold. Meng Tian was shocked. He had hesitated for a long time before, but in the end he didn't go. Not only Meng Tian, but Dugu Aoqian and Li Yunfei were also surprised. The surrounding disciples were at a loss. Pine Palace? What is that place? Is it dangerous? It seems quite dangerous. Didn't you see that even senior brother Meng Tian was full of praise? It can't be. Could it be that only Lin Xian went in? The Dragon Sword Pavilion disciples also asked, Brother Xian, what is the Pine Palace? Tell us more about it. Lin Xian scratched his nose helplessly and smiled bitterly. At this time, Meng Tian spoke again. Although I didn't enter the Pine Palace, I know the situation inside. The Pine Palace is the core area of the remote sky secret realm. There are countless treasures inside, far more than outside. What? The core area? Hearing this, the surrounding disciples were shocked. Although they hadn't entered the remote sky secret realm, they still understood what the core area meant. I didn't expect Lin Xian to be so lucky to enter the core area. Yeah, didn't you see that senior brother Meng Tian? And the rest didn't go in. The group was envious. Lucky? Dugu Aoqian and the rest had strange expressions. You're wrong. Wrong? How is it wrong? Isn't there countless treasures in the core area? The crowd was puzzled again. There are indeed countless treasures, but there are also countless dangers inside. Moreover, it's even more dangerous this time, because there's a peerless beast inside, the heavenly netherbird. That's an ancient beast, and it's a peerless demon on the heaven leaderboard. What? The heavenly netherbird. An ancient beast. Hearing this, the crowd trembled as fear appeared in their eyes. Needless to say, the heavenly netherbird was extremely terrifying just by hearing its name. No wonder Meng Tian and Dugu Aoqian had such expressions. It turns out that the Pine Palace is extremely dangerous, but Lin Xian dares to go in. I have to say, he's too daring. Junior brother Lin, what's the strength of the heavenly netherbird? Has it reached the ninth heaven of the honorable realm? Everyone was curious as they wanted to know how powerful the ancient beast was. Ninth heaven of the honorable realm? Lin Xian shook his head. Ordinary kings can't even withstand a single blow from it. What? Even kings can't withstand a single blow? No way. It's so powerful. Everyone broke out in cold sweat as they realized that they had underestimated the ancient beast. It was definitely a peerless beast. Even Dean Xian was surprised. He did not expect such a thing to happen in the remote sky's secret realm. Lin Xian was too daring to enter the same place as a king-level beast. Fortunately, he was fine. Otherwise, he would not be able to answer to the palace of gods of war. Dean Xian was also scared. Then, how did you guys escape safely? Everyone was puzzled, as they could not think of how they could escape from such a peerless beast. Actually, it wasn't too bad. With the protection of the ancient expert's remnant soul, the heavenly Netherbird did not cause much harm. Lin Xian explained briefly. Everyone came to a sudden realization. So that was how it was. But thinking about it, it should be extremely dangerous. The disciples continued to discuss as they asked the disciples who had entered the secret realm. The scene was very lively. However, at this moment, Dean Xian frowned as she looked at the sky. Lin Xian's heart was beating wildly as his face turned serious. This was because the 10,000 beast ding in his body was vibrating, as if it was reminding him. Recently, he had only used the 10,000 beast ding to plant a beast mark on the heavenly Netherbird. Other than that, he had not done anything else. Now that the 10,000 beast ding was acting up, it was obviously related to the heavenly Netherbird. Did that guy come out again? Lin Xian's face turned ugly. Chapter 1235. Sure enough, in the next moment, tens of thousands of lightning bolts struck down from the distance, attracting everyone's attention. Senma College's disciples all looked up at the sky in shock. Not only Senma College, but also the Palace of Ares, the Murong family, the Merry Woods, and the Deity Sword Villa. All the major powers and families looked up at the sky. The originally clear sky suddenly turned gloomy. Countless lightning bolts danced like wild snakes. It was a terrifying sight. Not only that, the sky suddenly split open, forming a 1,000-mile crack. It was as if the entire sky had split into two. Endless black flames poured out from the huge crack and instantly filled the sky. The black flames burned fiercely with a strange aura, as if they were the demonic flames of hell. In the next moment, a deep roar filled with endless anger and violent power rang out. In the end, a huge body flew out from the crack and filled the sky in an instant. It was a huge body. Its entire body was pitch black, and its black feathers looked as if they were made of demonic iron. There were black flames burning on them. Accompanying it was an earth-shattering demonic aura, and a terrifying aura, the heavenly Netherbird. It's the heavenly Netherbird. Damn it, that guy actually came out. At this moment, the Palace of Ares, the Murong family, the Divine Bird Palace, and all the other major powers were shocked, especially the martial artists who had just come out of the secret realm. They were all terrified, as if they had seen a ghost. They had personally experienced the terror of the heavenly Netherbird, and naturally knew the consequences of such a peerless beast coming out. That huge body filled the sky, and a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. This scene deeply shocked everyone in the Tianwu continent. Is that the heavenly Netherbird? It's too terrifying. In Senma College, countless disciples looked up at the sky with pale faces. Many of them were even trembling slightly. Even though they were so far away, they still felt a sense of fear. It was as if the flames could tear them apart. It was too terrifying. Previously, they had heard from Lin Xian and the others that the heavenly Netherbird was terrifying, but that was all they knew. Now that the heavenly Netherbird had come out, they immediately realized how terrifying the heavenly Netherbird was. At the same time, they looked at Lin Xian with admiration in their hearts. Lin Xian actually dared to stay with such a terrifying existence. It was simply too shocking. On the other hand, Lin Xian's face was gloomy. He didn't expect the heavenly Netherbird to come out so quickly. This was not good news for him. So he immediately hid the feather and cut off any connection it had with the outside world. Otherwise, the heavenly netherbird would definitely be able to find him. As for the beast mark, Lin Xian did not activate it. Instead, he hid it deep within the sky netherbirds body. The moment the heavenly netherbird appeared, it let out a loud roar and directly shattered the countless forests and mountains below. Countless mountains collapsed and rivers flowed in reverse. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. Not only that, the countless black rocks in the sky turned into black birds and quickly flew in all directions, as if they were searching for something. In the academy, Dean Xian looked at the sky with a solemn expression. Then he quickly ordered all disciples return to the academy and activate the academy's defensive formation. No one is allowed to leave during this time. In the face of a king-level demon beast, Senma College immediately sealed the academy and prohibited the disciples from leaving. There was no other way. The heavenly netherbird was too terrifying. If they encountered it, there was no chance of survival. In fact, without Dean Xian's orders, the disciples would not have dared to go out and seek death. However, the academy activated the defensive formation, which made them feel a lot more at ease. Countless disciples rushed out like a flood. They retreated to the back. A formation appeared around Senma College and completely enveloped the Senma College. At the same time, the Palace of Ares, the Morong family, the Deity Sword Villa, and the other major forces also went into seclusion and activated the formation. Lin Xian also returned to the academy. He did not cultivate but returned to the courtyard to have a good sleep. This time, entering the hidden sky's secret realm was too dangerous. His mind was tense the entire time, and he did not have time to rest. Now that he was out, he naturally had to relax. He slept for 3 days and 3 nights. After that, Lin Xian woke up in great spirits. In the following days, the academy remained closed, and he did not go out. Instead, he began to organize his gains in the secret realm in his courtyard. It had to be said that the harvest this time was too great. First, his cultivation had increased from the 4th sky of the Venerable Realm to the 7th sky of the Venerable Realm. Then his dragon sword soul had reached the 8th sky of the Venerable Realm. It could be said that his cultivation and combat strength had undergone an earth-shaking change. Moreover, this was not his final form. He still had countless treasures in his hands. As long as he focused on cultivation, it would not be long before his strength could increase again. Also, he had obtained a primordial feather from the heavenly netherbird. It contained the origin flame and could allow him to condense a flame martial soul. However, he did not plan to use it now. In addition, there was a 6,000-year-old purple thunder divine bamboo in the mysterious space in his body. The power of thunder and lightning on it was shocking. All that was left were all kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures. These things were all stored in his white bone ring. It was divided into 2 parts. One of them was collected by him. The other part was in the Pine Palace, where he robbed the storage rings of the people from the Palace of Gods of War and the Palace of Divine Birds. This was the most abundant part. Thinking of this, Lin Xian smiled. He reckoned that the people from the Palace of Gods of War and the Palace of Divine Birds must be mad. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian set up a defensive formation around him. Then he flicked the storage ring, and countless treasures appeared in the void. Seeing these things, Lin Xian's eyes burned with passion. He took a deep breath. Each of these treasures could make a venerable go crazy. Now, he had so many of them. If these things were taken out, it would cause a stir in the entire Tianwu continent. Next, Lin Xian began to organize them. He put the same things together so that it would be easier to manage them. Spiritual stones, pills, spiritual fruits, weapons, defensive equipment. All kinds of things were there. However, there was no cultivation technique. Because they did not enter the Pine Palace, they did not get any cultivation technique left behind by Taoist Song Song. However, Lin Xian comprehended a stellar sword art from the Stellar Pavilion. Its power was extraordinary, although it was not as good as a real Earth rank martial art. It was close. When he was finally done, Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. He was too shocked. He knew about the things he had collected. What shocked him was the things in the storage rings of the Palace of Gods and the Palace of Divine Birds. The richness was far beyond his imagination. Chapter 1236. Especially the storage rings of Duan Tianqing and Yan Feng from the Palace of Gods of War. They were simply too rich, even more than what he had obtained. As expected of an 8th level supremacy, he's actually so rich. Lin Xian even found silver leaves and fire phoenix fruits in Duan Tianqing's storage ring. There were a total of 10. Presumably, Duan Tianqing had left these for the geniuses of the Palace of Gods of War. But now they were all Lin Xian's. In the end, Lin Xian sorted out everything. Among them, there were 30 high-grade spirit stones. These high-grade spirit stones were very rare, and they were usually only in the hands of a few House of Kings. The outside world could not see them at all. Lin Xian had 30 of them, which was already very shocking. There were also 13 half-Earth rank artifacts. Half-Earth rank artifacts were extremely precious weapons in the Tianwu continent. Each one of them could make countless supremacies go crazy. And now Lin Xian actually had a total of 13 of them. Not only that, Lin Xian also had 5 Earth rank artifacts that were even more precious than half-Earth rank artifacts. Such good things would probably make even a 9th level supremacy covet them. There were also many spirit fruits and spirit herbs. It could be said to be extremely rich. Other than that, there were also countless metal materials. With these materials, Lin Xian could refine a Crimson Lotus battle armor. In short, Lin Xian had obtained a lot of things this time. Next, he divided these things into 3 parts. One of them was for himself. These things were the best of all the treasures. The other parts were left for the people around him. These things were not of use to him, but to the cultivators around him. They were precious treasures. The last part was for him to give to the academy. However, the things in his hands were far more than what the academy had. Therefore, Lin Xian planned to use the remaining to exchange for cultivation techniques. Of course, there was one more thing, and that was the dragon's blood that the Crimson Dragon had always wanted. Lin Xian had to exchange for the dragon blood. This was the agreement between him and the Crimson Dragon. As for the cultivation technique, he needed it very much as well. This was because he had only obtained the Star's Sword technique in the Remote Sky's secret realm. Apart from that, he did not obtain any other cultivation techniques. However, there were many cultivation techniques in the True Spirit Palace, and there were also some precious ones. Therefore, he only needed to use materials to exchange for them. After summoning Wang Li and the others, Lin Xian distributed the treasures to them. Older brother Xian, is this for us? The group of people looked at the treasures on the ground and trembled with excitement. That's right, this is for you guys, Lin Xian said. Take it and distribute it. Let the brothers increase their cultivation and strength. Thank you, Brother Xian. The group of people was excited. These were all true treasures of the heavens and earth, which were very rare in the outside world. They did not expect that Lin Xian would give them to them just like that. It seemed that the benefits of following Lin Xian were great. In an instant, these people became even more loyal to Lin Xian. After doing all this, Lin Xian made another trip to the True Spirit Palace. After handing over the treasures set by the academy, Lin Xian found the elder of the True Spirit Palace and told him the purpose of his visit. Oh, you want to exchange for the dragon blood and the earth rank cultivation technique? The elder was also very surprised. One had to know that whether it was the dragon blood or the earth rank cultivation technique, they were both very precious, so their prices were also very high. Ordinary people would not be able to afford it. Even those who entered the remote sky's secret realm would not dare to casually exchange for it. And now Lin Xian actually wanted to exchange for both the cultivation technique and the dragon blood at the same time. It was simply too shocking. Do you know the value of these things? The elder of the True Spirit Palace asked in a deep voice. Elder, don't worry. I just returned from the remote sky's secret realm. I still have some treasures with me that are enough to exchange for them. Seeing Lin Xian's confident smile, the elder of the True Spirit Palace nodded, and then said with a smile, "It seems that you have gained quite a lot from this trip to the remote sky's secret realm. Senior, you flatter me. I was just lucky." When the surrounding disciples heard that Lin Xian wanted to exchange for the dragon blood and the earth rank cultivation technique, they were all extremely shocked. This Lin Xian is too generous. Even Dugo Aotian and Li Yunfei are not as rich as him. What do you know? He entered the core area of the remote sky's secret realm. He must have obtained a lot of good things. He entered the core area. His luck is so good. What good luck? He is bold. It is said that anyone can enter that place, but it is extremely dangerous. It can be said that there is only a slim chance of survival. A few days ago, the heavenly nether bird suddenly appeared. Do you know that peerless beast? At that time, that demonic beast was also in the Dark Pine Palace. What? It is so dangerous. Many people exclaimed. It seemed that these treasures were indeed not easy to obtain. Now, everyone knew how dangerous it was for Lin Xian to obtain those treasures. While the crowd was discussing, Lin Xian's expression did not change. He followed the True Spirit Hall elder and quickly walked into the depths of the palace. There was a strong protective barrier that covered a stone platform. On the stone platform, there was a palm-sized jade bowl. The jade bowl was crystal clear and incomparably green. It was actually carved out of a high-grade spiritual stone. Lin Xian knew how precious a high-grade spiritual stone was, but he did not expect it to be carved into a jade bowl to contain dragon blood. One could imagine how precious dragon blood was. Only Lin Xian had entered the remote sky's secret realm and obtained a large amount of treasures. Only then did he have the qualifications to exchange for it. If it were anyone else, they would not even dare to think about it. In the end, Lin Xian used 2 earth rank artifact fragments to exchange for the drop of dragon blood. The drop of dragon blood was the size of a fist and emitted a scarlet light. At the same time, Lin Xian could feel that it contained an extremely pure energy. If a martial artist consumed it, it would definitely strengthen their physique and blood and strengthen their martial arts foundation. After all, dragons were like divine beasts in the eyes of the world. Dragon blood was naturally very useful. However, Lin Xian did not want the dragon blood for himself. He wanted to prepare it for the Crimson Dragon. Carefully putting away the dragon blood, Lin Xian followed the True Spirit Hall elder to another place. This place was where the cultivation techniques were stored. In the sky, there were many jade slips floating, emitting a faint light. Beside them was a huge wall that was carved with the names and introductions of countless cultivation techniques. On this wall, the worst cultivation technique was a top spiritual rank cultivation technique. In addition, there was a large amount of half-earth rank cultivation techniques. There were even quite a few earth rank cultivation techniques. Looking at the cultivation techniques on the wall, Lin Xian took a deep breath. As expected of Senma College, one of the top forces in the continent, there were so many precious cultivation techniques. There were also many earth rank cultivation techniques that were extremely expensive in the outside world. This was probably the foundation of a king's faction. Moreover, Lin Xian knew that what he saw was definitely only the tip of the iceberg. It seemed that the House of Kings was more powerful than he had imagined. Thinking that he would have to fight against half of the palace of Ares in the future, Lin Xian felt extremely heavy. Shaking his head, he calmed himself and looked forward. Chapter 1237. Lin Xian skipped over the top spirit level techniques and half earth level techniques and locked his eyes on the earth level techniques. In the end, he chose 2 techniques: Void Shattering Finger and 9 Changes in the Firmament. Void Shattering Finger was a type of finger technique with terrifying power. When practiced to the great success stage, it could penetrate all defenses, even the sky. 9 Changes in the Firmament was a powerful ability. When practiced to the great success stage, it could evolve 9 ancient beasts to fight against enemies. It could be said to be ever-changing and extremely useful. Lin Xian was very satisfied with these 2 techniques, so he did not hesitate and spent a lot of treasures to exchange for them. The elder of the true spirit palace waved his hand, and suddenly 2 jade slips turned into rainbows in the void above and arrived in front of Lin Xian in an instant. Lin Xian did not hesitate. He waved his hand and put the 2 jade slips into his storage ring. Then he left the true spirit palace. In the following days, Lin Xian began to practice Void, Shattering Finger, and 9 Changes in the Firmament. These 2 techniques were both earth-level techniques with great power, but they were also extremely difficult to practice. Fortunately, Lin Xian had experience in practicing earth-level techniques, so it was twice the result with half the effort. Among them, Void Shattering Finger required a special mental cultivation method to store spiritual power and use it at a critical moment. This spiritual power would be transformed into Void Shattering Qi and stored in Lin Xian's fingers. When it was time to use it, it would be used instantly. In theory, all 10 fingers could store Void Shattering Qi. However, this could only be achieved by the perfection stage. Lin Xian could only store it in 1 finger now. As for 9 changes in the firmament, it was 9 different seals. Each seal corresponded to an ancient beast. The 9 seals corresponded to 9 ancient beasts. Once they were used, their power could be said to be unparalleled. These 9 seals were Qiongqi, Tianpeng, Dijiang, 9-headed snakelet, Zhuyan, White Tiger, Hanwu, Huofeng, and Songlong. Each of them was extremely terrifying. During this period, Lin Xian had been in seclusion to practice these 2 techniques and had made some progress. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. The heavenly netherbird had indeed caused some trouble in the Martial Sky continent. In the end, it had angered a king, resulting in a huge battle. However, the heavenly netherbird's condition wasn't good. It was often suppressed by the astral chains. Therefore, he did not gain any advantage in this battle. Very quickly, the news of the heavenly netherbird's defeat spread throughout the Tianwu continent. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they heard the news. On the other hand, Lin Xian frowned. He knew that this wasn't the heavenly netherbird's true strength. It was only because of the star chain that it was defeated. However, this was good news for him. At the very least, he wouldn't be attacked by the heavenly netherbird for a while. For a time, the various major forces also removed their defenses. And today, on one of the battlegrounds of the Immortal Martial Academy, an extremely intense battle was about to take place. The 2 sides of the battle were Dugu Aotian and Li Yunfei, whom everyone was extremely familiar with. At that moment, Li Yunfei's aura was extremely powerful. He had also broken through to the 7th heavenly layer of the exalted realm. I didn't expect you to break through to the 7th level of the venerable realm so quickly. However, you're still not my match, said Dugu Aotian. Whether I'm your match or not, we'll only know after we fight. Li Yunfei was confident and calm like an elegant young master. In the next moment, he waved his palm and quickly attacked Dugu Aotian. Palm shadows appeared one after another, descending from the sky and slamming down, instantly enveloping Dugu Aotien. A terrifying power flowed, as if it wanted to suppress Dugu Aotien. Dugu Aotien also let out a long roar and quickly raised his sword to meet the attack. An extremely dazzling light burst out from the long sword. A sword chi was like a rainbow, as it quickly slashed toward the huge palm of light. The two of them exchanged blows, and the momentum was extremely terrifying. After 50 moves, Li Yunfei was defeated. I lost. Li Yunfei retracted his hand. He wasn't very disappointed. Your improvement exceeded my expectations. If I hadn't entered the 7th level of the Venerable Realm in advance, the outcome of this battle would have been unknown. Dugu Aotien said as he sheathed his sword, "No matter what, you're still first on the Mystic Venerable ranking." First? Dugu Aotien shook his head, slightly. "Not necessarily. We'll only know after we fight." "You mean Lin Xian?" Li Yunfei's expression also became serious. "Indeed, he's entered the core area of the secret realm. I think his improvement this time will be even greater. I just don't know who's better this time." "Great. I also want to fight with him. Why don't we go together?" "Sure." Then the two of them rose from the ground and flew toward the courtyard where Lin Xian was. At the same time, in Senma College's punishment hall, Meng Tian took a deep breath and strode out of the hall. At that moment, a voice was heard. "Junior brother Meng, where are you going?" a handsome young man asked. "Senior brother Zhua, you're back," Meng Tian said with a smile. "How was it? Did the mission go smoothly?" "It was all right. Although there were some hiccups along the way, it was completed successfully." The handsome young man, Zhua Donglai, smiled and asked again, "Where are you going? Why do you look so serious?" "I'm going to fight with someone," Meng Tian said. "Oh, who is it? Why are you taking it so seriously? Is it the boss?" "How could it be the boss? Ever since I lost to him in one punch, I don't dare to challenge him again." Meng Tian smiled bitterly and said, "It's a junior brother I'm going to fight with this time." "Oh, junior brother, is it Dugu Aotien? Why, has this guy improved so much in the remote sky secret realm that he can fight with you?" Zhua Donglai was puzzled. "No, it's someone called Lin Xian." "Lin Xian? I've heard of him. He's quite famous recently, but he doesn't seem to have the strength to fight with you. After all, there's a big age gap between the two of you." Zhua Donglai was surprised. However, Meng Tian shook his head. "Senior brother Zhua, you haven't seen him before, so you don't know that he's very mysterious. When he was in the remote sky secret realm, he was able to fight against the 11th young master of the Shen family, when he was only at the 6th sky of the Venerable Realm. Now that he was at the 7th sky of the Venerable Realm, he should be even stronger." "Oh, you're saying that Lin Xian can fight against peerless geniuses who are at a higher level than him?" This was interesting. Zhua Donglai was also interested. "I didn't expect our academy to have such a mysterious disciple. I must take a look." "Okay, let's go together." Meng Tian nodded, and then set off with Zhua Donglai. In the courtyard, many people had gathered. Wang, Li, and the other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were very excited. "Brother Xian, thanks to the heavenly treasures you gave us, our cultivation has improved greatly in the past 2 months. He was very excited because this time he had directly advanced to the 6th sky of the Venerable Realm. It could be said that he had improved at a godly speed. In addition, Dongfang Xiong had also advanced to the 6th sky of the Venerable Realm, and the other strength had also increased greatly. Many of them had reached the 5th sky of the Venerable Realm, although they couldn't be compared to Dugu Aotien, Li Yunfei, and the others. Increasing their cultivation by 1 or 2 levels in just 2 months would shock everyone. After all, this was the Venerable Realm. Chapter 12:38. The group of people looked at Lin Xian gratefully. Without the treasures that Lin Xian had given them, they would not have been able to improve their cultivation so much in such a short time. Brother Xian, we will never forget your kindness. As long as there's anything you need us to do, just tell us. We'll do anything. The group of people swore their loyalty. Lin Xian waved his hand. Don't be like this. We're all brothers. Of course, we'll share our blessings. As long as you don't betray me or the Dragon Sword Pavilion, we'll be brothers for life. As Lin Xian was speaking, two ear-piercing sounds came from afar. Soon, two figures landed on the ground like lightning. It's them. When Wang Li and the others saw that the two people were Dugu Aotian and Li Yunfei, they immediately became nervous. After all, these two were the top geniuses in the academy. Why are you two here? Lin Xian was also very surprised. Nothing. We just wanted to spar with you. Dugu Aotian did not beat around the bush and directly stated the purpose of his visit. Immediately, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked ahead. He realized that the other party's cultivation had become stronger. On the other side, Li Yunfei's cultivation had also reached the 7th level of the martial honor realm. It seemed that their cultivation had increased again. No wonder they wanted to spar with him. All right, it's time to change the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. Lin Xian stood up. He was still ranked 3rd on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard, but his strength had already surpassed Dugu Aotian and the others. Now he could use this opportunity to advance to 1st place. Junior Brother Meng, it seems that you're late. Someone made a move before you. At that moment, another voice was heard. 2 more figures descended from the sky. They were 2 young men. One of them was Meng Tian, and the other was a handsome young man. They were standing there with a smile. Greetings, Senior Brother Meng Tian, the group shouted. Meng Tian nodded, then pointed at the young man beside him, and said, This is Zhuo Donglai, Senior Brother Zhuo. Greetings, Senior Brother Zhuo. The crowd shouted. Then they were shocked. Could this be the genius who ranked 2nd on the previous Mystic Sovereign leaderboard? They were shocked. They didn't expect that not only had Meng Tian come, but he had also brought someone even more powerful. Zhuo Donglai had been ranked 2nd on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. He had stayed in the punishment hall after graduation. Furthermore, he was even more powerful. He had reached the 8th heavenly layer of Exalted a long time ago. It could be said that he was even more powerful than them. No one expected that such a powerful person would actually come here. Senior brothers, why are you here? Lin Xian asked. It's nothing. I just want to spar with you. Senior Brother Zhuo is just here to watch the show. Meng Tian explained his intentions. What, sparring with older Brother Xian again? Everyone was stunned. If Dugu Aotian and Li Yunfei had come to spar, it would have been normal. After all, everyone's strength was about the same. They would have to compete for 1st place on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. However, Meng Tian and Zhuo Donglai were different. After all, the 2 of them had graduated and were no longer disciples of the college. They would not compete with Lin Xian for the sake of ranking on the Mystic Honorable Board. Furthermore, the 2 of them were both 8th heavenly layer exalted. They could be said to be incomparably powerful. Even the older generation would admit that they were not as powerful as them. Although Lin Xian and Dugu Aotian were peerless geniuses, they were still young and their cultivation was only at the 7th heavenly layer exalted. They were no match for them at all. Of course, Wang Li and the others did not know about Lin Xian's current strength. They also did not know about Lin Xian's performance in the Pine Palace. That was why they were so confused. Although Meng Tian and the others had entered the remote sky secret realm, they were basically in another area and were not with Lin Xian. Therefore, they were not very clear about Lin Xian's combat strength. Therefore, these people did not know about Lin Xian's true strength. Furthermore, They did not think that Lin Xian had the combat strength of an eighth heavenly layer exalted. After all, the further one progressed, the harder it was to fight someone of a higher level. However, Lin Xian smiled faintly and said, "If that's the case, please wait for a while. Senior Brother Meng, let's spar after Dugu and I are done." "Okay." Meng Tian nodded and then retreated to the side. Shui Donglai was also very interested. In his opinion, Dugu Aoqian and Lin Xian's strength were about the same. It should be a fierce battle between the two of them. This way, he could observe more clearly what was so special about Lin Xian. Seeing this, Li Yunfei and the other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion also retreated to the side to give them enough space. Everyone held their breaths and waited patiently. The disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were also excited. After all, both of them were top geniuses. This kind of battle was not common. "If that's the case, I won't hold back." Dugu Aoqian drew his sword and quickly circulated his spiritual energy. Suddenly, the long sword emitted a dazzling light. Dugu Nine Swords. Dugu Aoqian's first move was an extremely fierce killing move. 9 streaks of sword chi shot out like rainbows, and a long sword slashed across the void. At the side, Shui Donglai smiled and said, "Dugu Aoqian is very cautious. He used his ultimate skill right from the start." "Good. Let's see what Lin Xian will use to deal with it." Meng Tian nodded slightly. Dugu Aoqian's sword was indeed not bad. It already had an invincible aura. Not many 7th level honorables could take it. Wang Li and the others were also shocked. They had heard of the Dugu Nine Swords. It was Dugu Aoqian's famous ultimate skill. He was a very powerful killer. They did not expect Dugu Aoqian to use this ultimate skill right from the start. At that moment, they could not help but worry about Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian's face was calm. There was not a trace of nervousness. His palms moved and quickly formed a strange seal. Then he slowly pressed forward. Buzz. Strong winds blew, and the void trembled. Endless spiritual energy formed a huge body and roared in all directions. It was a ferocious beast. It looked like a cow, but its body was full of spikes. Its whole body emitted a powerful aura. As soon as the ferocious beast appeared, it created a terrifying aura. It quickly rushed toward the 9 streaks of sword chi. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Even Meng Tian and Shui Donglai were surprised. If I'm not wrong, this should be the 9 changes of the firmament from the true Spirit Palace. This should be the Qiong Qi transformation, Meng Tian said. I didn't expect him to exchange for the 9 changes of the firmament. Yes, not only did he exchange it, but he also cultivated it. Look at how powerful the Qiong Qi's shadow is. I'm afraid a 7th level honorable will not be able to resist it. Shui Donglai was also very surprised. He did not expect Lin Xian to have mastered the 9 changes of the firmament. What a magical kid. Looks like Dugu Aoqian is going to be unlucky. Sure enough, the huge Qiong Qi in the sky swept across and immediately blasted the 9 streaks of sword chi away. Then, it quickly rushed toward Dugu Aoqian. Dugu Aoqian's pupils shrank. He did not expect Lin Xian to have such a strange skill. It could actually break his 9 swords of the Dugu in an instant. This surprised him. However, he was a top genius. Although he missed, he would not be defeated. He took a deep breath and quickly dodged to the side. Chapter 1239. Telepathic Sword Technique. After witnessing Lin Xian's power, Dugu Aoqian did not hesitate and used a powerful sword technique. It was also an earth-grade sword technique that he had exchanged from the True Spirit Hall. It was called the telepathic sword technique. The power of this sword technique was boundless. Although he had just obtained it and had not mastered it, the power of an earth-grade sword technique could not be underestimated. As expected, As soon as the telepathic sword technique was used, sword lights danced in the sky and quickly blocked Xiongqi. Seeing this scene, Dugu Aotian secretly heaved a sigh of relief. On the other hand, Lin Xian was surprised. He did not expect Dugu Aotian to have an earth-grade sword technique. However, he did not care. In the next moment, his hand seals slowly changed, and then he shouted in a low voice, "Qiong-Qi transformation, sky-shaking roar." Along with his hand seals, the huge Qiong-Qi phantom in the void above also moved quickly. Although it was a phantom, the 9 changes of the firmament was extremely mysterious. At this moment, Qiong-Qi was like a real peerless beast. It roared at the sky, as if it was using a consummate skill. Sure enough, in the next moment, the spiritual power in the sky vibrated, and a materialized sound wave quickly surged forward. The sound wave was blue like the sea. It was extremely terrifying and contained terrifying power. If one was hit by the sound wave, even an 8th level supremacy would not be able to withstand it. The sound wave was too terrifying, so even if Dugu Aotian had the telepathic sword technique, he could not resist it. The sword lights that filled the sky disappeared, and Dugu Aotian kept retreating. Fortunately, this was just an ordinary spar, and Lin Xian did not kill him, so Dugu Aotian was not injured. However, the blood in his body was also surging, and he could not mobilize his spiritual power for a short period of time. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Their mouths were wide open in disbelief. In just 2 moves, Dugu Aotian was defeated. That was Dugu Aotian. He was the top genius among Senma College's disciples, but he was defeated just like that. For a moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian in shock. Impossible! How is this possible? Has this kid's strength increased to such a level? At the side, Li Yunfei looked panicked. Before he came, he was still guessing whether Lin Xian or Dugu Aotian would win, because, in his opinion, the battle between the two of them would definitely be a battle between a dragon and a tiger, and it would be difficult to determine the victor. However, he did not expect that the situation would be one-sided. In 2 moves, Dugu Aotian was defeated. He found it hard to believe for a moment. The surrounding disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were even more excited. They clenched their fists, and their faces were filled with ecstasy. Older brother Xian defeated Dugu Aotian in 2 moves. It can't be. This is too shocking, isn't it? Is older brother Xian already so powerful? Older brother Xian is mighty and domineering. The group was excited. In the distance, Meng Tian and Zhuo Donglai were also shocked. They had not expected such a thing to happen. His improvement was indeed godly. Meng Tian's voice was grave. Zhuo Donglai was also surprised. No wonder you thought so highly of this little boy. He is so mysterious, and his fighting power is so strong. His battle prowess was probably close to that of the 8th heavenly layer Venerable Realm. The two of them quickly conversed, and their understanding of Lin Xian increased once again. On the stage, Dugu Aotian was struggling to stabilize the blood in his body. Until now, his mind was still blank because he could not accept the current situation at all. 2 moves, only 2 moves. He was full of confidence before, thinking that he would definitely be able to defeat Lin Xian this time, but he did not expect that the other party would defeat him in 2 moves. Thinking of this, his body began to tremble. In the end, he sighed and said with an incomparably lonely expression, "I lost. Thank you for letting me win." Lin Xian said indifferently, but his heart was filled with ecstasy. The 9 changes of the firmament was indeed powerful. He had only used the first change, the Qiongqi transformation, to defeat Dugu Aotian in 2 moves. It was really beyond his expectations. At the same time, in Senma College, the rankings on the black stone tablet that was tens of thousands of feet tall changed once again. Lin Xian, who was originally ranked 3rd, suddenly flickered like the sun. He quickly rose up and finally jumped to the first position. His name had also turned purplish gold. Dugu Aotian, who was originally ranked first, had dropped to second place. After him, Li Yunfei and the others dropped one place in succession. Big news, earth-shattering news. Look, the mysterious sovereign ranking has changed. Countless disciples went crazy. Isn't it normal for there to be changes? After all, many experts have improved a lot in the remote sky secret realm this time. No, it's Lin Xian and Dugu Aotian. Lin Xian's name has jumped to first place. What? You're saying that Dugu Aotian lost? Everyone was shocked. Although they did not see the battle between Lin Xian and Dugu Aotian with their own eyes, the change in the names had already explained the result. That was Dugu Aotian. He had always been the top genius in the college, an existence that countless people looked up to. However, he had now lost. Moreover, he had not lost to his strong opponent, Li Yunfei, but to a new student who had just entered the college for a year. He had successfully reached first place on the mysterious sovereign ranking within a year of entering the college. This result had never happened before. It could be said that Lin Xian had created a miracle. No way didn't Dugu Aotian enter the remote sky secret realm this time and increase his strength greatly? Yeah, I remember that he has already reached the 7th level honorable realm. Could it be that he can't defeat Lin Xian with such strength? Oh my God, Lin Xian is too scary. How old is he? He's only 20 years old, but he's already a 7th level honorable realm with such powerful combat strength. I'm afraid his future achievements will be limitless. On this day, the entire Senma College went crazy. However, they did not know that something even crazier was about to happen in Lin Xian's courtyard. Dugu Aotian had already recovered from his initial shock. He looked disappointed and retreated to the side. That was because there was still one more battle. Senior Brother Meng, please. Meng Tian nodded. Then his body swayed and he entered the arena. In the next moment, the aura in his body exploded. Junior Brother Lin, let me see how much you've grown. Meng Tian's voice was steady. Then the aura of an 8th level honorable realm exploded. Everyone's body stiffened when they felt this aura. This aura was too terrifying. Even Dugu Aotian and Li Yunfei could not withstand it. The only two people who were not affected were Zhuo Donglai and Lin Xian. Zhuo Donglai was an 8th level honorable realm, so his strength was above Meng Tian's. Therefore, he was not affected at all. However, the other person caused everyone to be extremely shocked. That was Lin Xian. He was only a 7th level honorable realm cultivator, but he was not afraid of the 8th level honorable realm cultivator's aura at all. This kid is indeed strange. He can actually ignore the aura of an 8th level honorable realm cultivator. Zhuo Donglai narrowed his eyes. Meng Tian let out a low growl and quickly attacked. 8 divine fist. Meng Tian's hair fluttered in the wind. He was like a divine demon, full of fighting spirit. As soon as he attacked, he displayed a powerful fist technique. Chapter 1240. 8 divine fist. Meng Tian's hair fluttered in the wind. He looked like a divine demon, full of fighting spirit. As soon as he attacked, he displayed a powerful fist technique. Suddenly, the entire space shook as if it would collapse at any time. Looking at the terrifying scene, Lin Xian quickly formed a seal with his palms. Then, Qiong Qi's figure appeared in the sky again. That huge figure was as majestic as a mountain. Its aura was so majestic that it struck fear in people's hearts. Qiong Qi walked forward step by step. Every step it took caused the space to tremble. It quickly charged toward the fist shadows that filled the sky. The two of them exchanged blows, and the momentum was extremely terrifying. Moreover, what was even more shocking was that the terrifying fluctuation was only limited to Lin Xian's courtyard. Outside the courtyard, it was unusually quiet. As expected of a peerless expert, his technique was indeed heaven-defying. In the next moment, Lin Xian's palms changed. Qiong-Qi in the sky also let out a deafening roar. Qiong-Qi transformation, sky-shaking roar. The blue sound wave was like a vast ocean that surged out. Previously, it was this move that defeated Dugu Aotian. Now, Lin Xian was using the same move to fight Meng Tian. At that moment, everyone was extremely nervous. Facing the terrifying sky-shaking roar, Meng Tian let out a long roar. The fist technique in his hand shone even brighter. When he threw out a punch, the wind blew in all directions. The powerful fist force carried terrifying energy as it fought against the blue sound wave. After all, he was a level 8 expert. He could be said to be extremely powerful. Therefore, he was able to resist the sound wave that Qiong-Qi released. Not only that, Meng Tian continued to throw out punches and finally shattered all the sound waves. Then, he charged toward Lin Xian in an extremely violent manner. Everyone was shocked, as expected of a level 8 honorable realm expert. He was indeed terrifying. However, Lin Xian looked calm. He put away the 9 changes of the firmament seal. Then he bent his finger and flicked it forward. Void-shattering finger. A ray of finger light shot out like a dragon. The ray of light was too fast. It was like a bolt of lightning disappearing into the sky in an instant. The crowd could not catch its trajectory at all. They could only see the endless void shattering rapidly. What? Seeing this, Zhuo Donglai stopped smiling. His expression became extremely serious. The surrounding disciples were even more shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to have such a terrifying technique. The finger beam was like a dragon as it moved swiftly. In an instant, it collided with the countless fist shadows and pierced through them. Not only that, but it also quickly ran toward Meng Tian. Seeing his fist technique being penetrated, Meng Tian's pupils shrank as a great sense of crisis rose in his heart. It was as if a single ray of light could take his life. Not good. Retreat. Meng Tian's expression changed drastically. Without hesitation, he retreated in an attempt to evade the attack. However, this finger light was too strange. It followed him like a shadow and caught up to him in an instant. With a cold snort, Meng Tian's spiritual energy surged and quickly condensed into an armor. After doing all this, he heaved a sigh of relief. This was because he was wearing a half-earth rank armor, and this light was emitted by that armor. The power of a half-earth rank artifact was boundless. Moreover, his spiritual energy was abundant. So, he should be able to withstand this finger light. At the next moment, a shocking vibration was heard. Following that, Meng Tian kept retreating, and his face became extremely pale. The shadow of the armor in front of him was penetrated, and the finger light hit him directly. Fortunately, he was still wearing the half-earth rank armor, so it was not immediately penetrated. Even so, the enormous power still forced him to retreat. Moreover, he sensed in horror that the half-earth rank armor on his body seemed to be unable to withstand it. Meng Tian gritted his teeth and quickly activated the armor to resist it. Fortunately, the armor on his body resisted the finger light in the end. After doing all this, he was completely drenched. Although he had only exchanged 2 moves, it was as if he had gone through a very difficult battle. Is this his power? Meng Tian's heart pounded wildly. He realized that he had no hope of winning against Lin Xian. In particular, the last move almost took his life. The surrounding disciples were even more shocked, and their minds went blank. 2 moves again. Meng Tian lost. This was too shocking. One had to know that Meng Tian was not Dugu Aotian, but a powerhouse from the previous generation. Now, he was a peerless powerhouse in the 8th heaven of the Venerable Realm. Even so, he was still defeated by Lin Xian. Thinking of this, everyone's hearts trembled. Du Aotian and Li Yunfei's faces were even paler. They realized that Lin Xian's strength was far more powerful than they had imagined. It was laughable that the two of them wanted to compete with Lin Xian. Damn it, what kind of technique was that finger light? It's so terrifying. Li Yunfei's body was still trembling. Du Aotian also smiled bitterly and shook his head. He realized that he could not understand Lin Xian at all. Void-shattering finger. You've even learned the void-shattering finger. On the side, Zhuo Donglai was shocked. He was too shocked. Originally, he was just curious about Lin Xian and wanted to see what was so special about this mysterious young man. But now, he was completely stunned. Meng Tian was too powerful. He was not weaker than an 8th heaven venerable. Moreover, he had mastered 2 earth-rank martial arts. Moreover, they were 2 extremely powerful earth-rank martial arts. The 9 changes of the firmament and the void-shattering finger were 2 famous martial arts techniques in the True Spirit Palace. They were extremely powerful, but they were very difficult to master. Looking at Lin Xian's appearance, it seemed that he had only exchanged for them after the Hidden Sky's secret realm. It had only been 2 months, but he had already mastered 2 earth-rank martial arts to such an extent. It was too shocking. This guy's talent is too strong. Zhuo Donglai was shocked. No one could cultivate 2 earth-rank martial arts in 2 months and have some success in both. Junior Meng, it seems like you didn't lose this battle unjustly. Hearing Zhuo Donglai's words, Meng Tian felt much better. This was because he knew that Zhuo Donglai was stronger than him and had a unique vision. Since Zhuo Donglai had said so, Lin Xian's strength was definitely beyond his imagination. He could not judge him by his cultivation base. Lin Xian was also very happy. He had wanted to test out the power of the void-shattering finger, but he did not expect it to be so effective. He had defeated Meng Tian with 1 move. This was only the result of 2 months of cultivation. If he continued to cultivate, the power of the void-shattering finger would be even stronger in the future. When he used the void-shattering finger, he might be able to kill an 8th heaven venerable. Thinking of this, Lin Xian was very excited. This was really a powerful weapon. However, the only regret he had was that he could only use the void-shattering finger once. After that, he would have to accumulate more power. That was the void-shattering finger. You didn't lose unjustly. Zhuo Donglai looked at Meng Tian and said in a low voice, the void-shattering finger is very powerful. It is said that when it is mastered, it can destroy everything. Fortunately, this guy has only cultivated it for 2 months. Otherwise, you would have been seriously injured. Hearing Zhuo Donglai's words, Meng Tian was also scared. Senior Zhuo, if you were to fight him, would you be confident? Chapter 1241. Zhuo Donglai shook his head and said, based on his current strength, he should be fine. However, I don't believe that he is that weak. So if we really fight, I am not confident that I can win. If you want to be completely confident, I am afraid that only the boss can do it. What? He's actually this strong? Meng Tian was shocked. He did not expect that even Zhuo Donglai was not completely confident. After that, everyone left with complicated emotions. Zhuo Donglai and Meng Tian invited Lin Xian to join the punishment hall after graduation. Du Aotian and Li Yunfei looked at Lin Xian with respect. The other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were very excited. Lin Xian was their boss. The stronger Lin Xian was, the better they would be. Soon, the news of Lin Xian and Meng Tian's battle spread throughout Senma College. Suddenly, the whole school was in an uproar. It was very lively. No one expected Lin Xian to be so strong. Even the elders were surprised. When Dean Xian heard this, his eyes flashed. Then he said, It seems that it is time to let him know the truth. After Meng Tian and Dugu Aoqian left, Lin Xian's courtyard became peaceful again. However, a few days later, a strange sound broke the silence. The sound was very arrogant, like a peerless demon. However, Lin Xian smiled when he heard it. He knew that it was the sound of the Crimson Dragon. It must have woken up at this time. The Crimson Dragon had obtained the blood of the heavenly Netherbird and refined it. It had been cultivating for more than 2 months. Now, it seemed that it had finally succeeded. Indeed, in the next moment, a red shadow flew out of Lin Xian's demonic beast pouch. Then it roared to the sky and rushed into the clouds. Its body had grown to 100 feet long. The whole of Senma College heard the dragon's roar. Suddenly, everyone was excited and looked around. That's the dragon's roar. Inside Senma College, the elders were all excited. Each of them emitted a powerful light and quickly rushed into the sky. Even Headmaster Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Like 2 sharp swords, they pierced through the void and stared upwards. It couldn't be helped. They were too shocked. One had to know that the dragon race was a mysterious existence. Even though they had a drop of dragon blood in the true spirit palace, they had to pay a great price to obtain it, and there was only 1 drop in total. Thus, how could they not be shocked when they heard the dragon's roar? Lin Xian also looked at the sky in surprise. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon was over 300 meters long and looked extraordinarily mighty. Not only that, but its body was also filled with an enormous pressure. 8th heaven, venerable realm. Who would have thought that a drop of the heavenly Netherbird's essence blood would allow the Crimson Dragon to recover from the 5th firmament of the venerable realm to the 8th firmament of the venerable realm? This was undoubtedly a huge improvement. It seemed that the Crimson Dragon was also very excited. It roared to the sky again, and its voice spread in all directions. This directly alarmed the elders and experts of Senma College. They all spread out their senses. Some people even directly moved out to search for the divine dragon. Rusalong, hurry up and come down. Otherwise, you'll be captured and refined into medicine. Lin Xian quickly sent a telepathic message. Although the 8th heaven venerable realm was powerful, it was not invincible. One had to know that Senma College was a challenger-level force. There must be 9th heaven venerable realm, half-step challenger-level, and even challenger-level existences. If those people were to make a move, the Crimson Dragon would definitely be captured. Don't worry, kid. They won't be able to catch Ben Huang. The Crimson Dragon laughed strangely again. Then, its body kept shrinking until it turned into a bolt of lightning and landed in Lin Xian's courtyard. Strange, that dragon's roar disappeared. Damn it, I didn't notice it. The group of elders from the Immortal Martial Academy were all extremely annoyed. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more, and they would have been able to see the legendary dragon race. If someone saw this scene, they would definitely be shocked because there was no lack of 8th heaven venerables among those elders. There were even a few 9th heaven venerables. They were all very powerful existences. However, these people were very disappointed at this moment because they had missed the divine dragon. Dean Xian narrowed his eyes with a suspicious expression. This was because he only caught a blurry figure and did not see the real dragon. However, as a challenger-level expert, his strength was extraordinary, so he caught the illusory figure landing in Senma College. Moreover, it seemed to be heading towards where Lin Xian was. Could the dragon be related to that kid? Dean Xian was surprised. In the courtyard, Lin Xian looked at the Crimson Dragon and rolled his eyes. You made such a big commotion as soon as you came out. Aren't you afraid of being caught? I'm not afraid. Even a challenger-level expert might not be able to catch me now. The Crimson Dragon was very confident. Hearing this, Lin Xian shook his head helplessly. Then he took out a crystal ball from his storage ring and threw it to the Crimson Dragon. "This is for you. See if you like it." "What's this? You prepared a gift for Ben Huang?" The Crimson Dragon was puzzled and then took the crystal ball. However, in the next moment, he was stunned and his body trembled slightly. "This is dragon's blood. You exchanged it for dragon's blood. Ha ha ha, that's great. With this dragon's blood, Ben Huang's strength will be restored again." The Crimson Dragon was like an old monster as it roared to the sky. This was too awesome. First, he had the essence blood of the heavenly Netherbird, and now he had the dragon's blood. It would not be long before he could restore his true strength. At that time, he would be able to shake the entire Tianwu continent like the heavenly Netherbird. However, Lin Xian said, "Don't go into seclusion yet. Help me set up a formation first. I want to absorb the source of the black flame in the feather." Lin Xian had a heavenly Netherbird feather in his hand. It contained the source of the flame. He had wanted to absorb it for a long time, but he was afraid of attracting the attention of the heavenly Netherbird. If that happened, the entire Senma College would be in trouble. Now that he had the Crimson Dragon, he could set up a formation to prevent the black flame's aura from leaking. This way, even the heavenly Netherbird would not be able to find it. "Don't worry, leave it to Ben Huang," the Crimson Dragon said. Then it began to set up the formation. Now that it had recovered its strength, the speed of setting up the formation had increased. In just one day, it had set up an ancient formation that covered Lin Xian's entire courtyard. With the Crimson Dragon's formation, Lin Xian was completely at ease. Then he took out the feather and prepared to cultivate. The feather was as long as a chopstick. It was completely black like a black jade. On top of it, there was a ball of black flame that burned fiercely. It was like the fire of hell. Lin Xian did not hesitate. In the next moment, he activated his spiritual energy and began to absorb it. At the same time, Senma College's Dean Xian sent someone to contact the Palace of Aries. Chapter 1242. Finally, a few days later, a few elders arrived at Senma College. They were all experts, so their arrival didn't attract the attention of the ordinary disciples. Other than Dean Xian, no one knew that there were experts from the Palace of Aries. There were a total of more than 10 people who came this time. They were all elders with white hair, and many of them were even holding crutches. Their auras were very powerful. The weakest was at 8th heaven, and some were 9th heaven supremacy. "I'm sure everyone knows the reason why I've called you here," Dean Xian said in a low voice. "You're saying that the young master has grown to the point where he can hold his own, and we can meet." The group of old men was excited. "To be honest, his growth has indeed surprised me. He's no weaker than an 8th heaven supremacy now," Dean Xian said slowly. "What? The young master's strength has grown so quickly?" The group of old men was shocked. "Quick, let me see the young master quickly." They were too excited because they already knew of Lin Xian's existence. However, Lin Xian's cultivation was too weak at that time. In order to protect Lin Xian from being hunted down, they didn't meet him immediately. Instead, they let Lin Xian enter Senma College. Now, Lin Xian had only been in the college for a year, and he had already grown to the point where he could go against an 8th heaven supremacy. This was really beyond their expectations. One had to know that even an exceptional genius wouldn't have such a terrifying cultivation speed. Therefore, the group of old men wanted to see Lin Xian immediately. "Everyone don't panic. That kid is now in seclusion. I'm afraid you won't be able to see him for a few days," Dean Xian explained. "What? The young master is in seclusion again. He's really hardworking. No wonder he can improve so much in such a short time." "Don't worry, Dean Xian. We won't disturb the young master. will just watch him quietly from afar. The old men couldn't hold back anymore. All right. Dean Xian knew that these people were anxious, and he believed that these old men wouldn't do anything to harm Lin Xian. Instantly, the group of people flew towards the courtyard where Lin Xian was. The speed of these people was simply shocking. With a single step, they had already appeared on the horizon. Therefore, it didn't take long for them to arrive above Lin Xian's courtyard. Let me see if young master looks the same as the portrait. A red-robed elder was excited. Nonsense! Of course the young master looks the same as in the painting. What else could he look like? At the side, an old man in a green robe retorted, "Old 8, what do you know?" Of course, young master was much more handsome than in the portrait. If you don't even know this, what are you doing here? The red-robed old man snorted coldly. Everyone was already used to these two old fellows, so no one tried to stop them when they quarreled. The other elders all looked down, but soon they cried out in alarm. There's actually a protective formation. The Institute of Heavenly Arts is very considerate of you to protect our young master so carefully. The group of old men looked at Headmaster Xian gratefully. But since we're all here, let's open the formation. Dean Xian shook her head slightly. I think you are mistaken. I didn't set up this array formation. You didn't set it up? Did young master set it up himself? No wonder he's the young master. He's so cautious. Forget it, I'll do it myself and break the formation. The old men couldn't take it anymore and prepared to do it themselves. But soon they were shocked again because they realized that they couldn't break the formation below. What a strange formation. I can't break it. The red-robed old man was shocked. Go away. Watch me. The green-robed old man snorted and quickly attacked. However, he frowned. This isn't an ordinary formation. It seems to be an ancient formation. Young master is indeed extraordinary. He actually mastered such an ancient formation. Many old men tried to break it, but they couldn't. Of course, they could use their powerful battle prowess to forcefully blast it open. However, doing so would definitely alarm Lin Xian, who was below, so they could only wait patiently. Forget it. For the sake of young master's safety, let's wait patiently. The red-robed old man sighed and then sat cross-legged in the void. When the other old men saw that, they also waited quietly. Even the Xian courtyard didn't leave. The group of people stayed above Lin Xian's courtyard and waited for 7 days. After 7 days, a scorching aura suddenly came from below. It was like a heat wave that quickly surged into the sky. Immediately, the old men above all opened their eyes. What a terrifying fire attribute energy. Could it be that young master is a fire attribute martial artist? You don't say. The fire attribute is really pure. I'm afraid it's rare in the world. They were all experts, so they could sense the fire attribute energy in the air with just a little bit of perception. Immediately, they laughed because Lin Xian was their young master. The more powerful Lin Xian was, the happier they would be. In the courtyard, Lin Xian sat cross-legged and suddenly opened his eyes. 2 balls of black flames burned in his eyes. It was very strange. The next moment, he turned his gaze and looked at a rockery in front of him. Suddenly, a light flashed in his eyes. A ball of black flames quickly surged out and instantly pounced on the rockery in front of him. Whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, the rockery was burned clean, leaving only a ball of black flames dancing. Not only that, the black flames seemed to be inextinguishable. They stayed there for a long time and showed no signs of weakening. In the end, Lin Xian waved his hand and collected the black flames on the ground. The flames in Lin Xian's eyes were the flame martial soul that he had condensed. Furthermore, the black flames came from the heavenly Netherbird's body. Its power was terrifying. now that Lin Xian had used it. Its effect was not any weaker than the heavenly netherbirds. This made him very happy. With the black flame martial soul, his strength had increased by a lot. He believed that if he faced Meng Tian now, he would only need a glance to burn him. Moreover, the flames could not be extinguished. Ordinary 8th level honorables would not be able to resist such means. However, he quickly frowned and looked up into the sky. This was because he could sense that there were dozens of powerful auras above him with his soul power. These auras were very strong. The weakest one was an 8th level honorable. There was even a king's aura. This caused him to be extremely shocked. With so many experts above him, it seemed that there was something important going on. However, he was not too worried. This was because he could sense that the king's aura should belong to Din Xian. Presumably, these people would not pose any threat to him. Therefore, Lin Xian asked the Crimson Dragon to remove the array. Then he said in a deep voice, "Seniors, please come in." Above him, Din Xian and the elders of the Palace of Gods of War were waiting patiently. Suddenly, they realized that the array below them had been opened. Furthermore, a voice entered their ears. "Seniors, please come in. Young Master, the young master is calling for us." The group of elders were excited and immediately flew down. Chapter 1243. Din Xian smiled faintly as she turned around. In the courtyard, a gust of wind blew, and more than 10 elders appeared. These people had powerful auras and strength. Their eyes were especially dazzling. Moreover, they were all staring at Lin Xian, being stared at by so many powerful elders. Even Lin Xian couldn't help but feel scared. However, those elders didn't care. They all ran forward and hugged Lin Xian as they burst into tears. "Young Lord, we finally meet you. That's great. We have hope now. Young Lord, you must lead us to take back the Palace of Ares." The group of elders was excited. When Lin Xian heard these words, he was also shocked. At this moment, he realized that these powerful elders were all from the Palace of Ares. Of course, they should be on his father's side, and not on the Vice Palace Master's side. "Seniors, let's talk nicely. Don't be so agitated. Young Lord, don't call us seniors anymore. You're making us feel bad." The group of elders quickly shook their heads. The red-robed elder said, "We're all elders of the Palace of Ares. I'm the 7th, this is the 8th, 11th, 12th, and 14th. The red-robed elder introduced. Lin Xian then realized that these were all elders of the Palace of Ares. They were all core elders. "All right, elders, don't cry anymore. Tell me about the situation in the Palace of Gods of War first. And how is my father?" Lin Xian asked. "The situation of the Palace of Ares isn't optimistic. Overall, we're at a disadvantage and completely suppressed. But don't worry, young lord. Although we're suppressed, they can't destroy us. Moreover, now that you're back, I believe that you'll be able to lead us to take back the Palace of Ares soon. As for the Palace Master, he's still in seclusion. Don't worry, the Vice Palace Master and those people can't hurt him at all." Lin Xian frowned slightly when he heard the 7th elder's words. Overall, the situation on their side was not good. However, as long as the Vice Palace Master didn't become a true king, they wouldn't be considered to have lost. "Looks like I have to hurry up. What can we do to turn the tables and defeat them?" Lin Xian asked. The 7th elder thought for a moment and said, "There are 2 main aspects. First, resources. As long as we have more resources than them, we can slow down the Vice Palace Master's breakthrough. As long as he doesn't break through and become a true king, we still have a chance of winning. Secondly, allies. Now, the Palace of Ares has many powerful allies. Among them, the Shun family of the House of Kings also supports them. But luckily we have immortal martial arts on our side, so it can be considered a draw. However, the clans below are far inferior to them. Lin Xian nodded. He finally understood. How about this, seventh elder? You go back and take charge of the situation. I'll try my best to conquer the Blood Realm as soon as possible. I think it will definitely be of great help in terms of resources. Subdue the Blood Realm. Hearing this, the seventh elder and the others were shocked. Even the headmaster Xian was surprised. Although this is a good idea, the Blood Realm is not so easy to conquer. In the past few hundred years, the Blood Realm has not been truly unified. Yes, young master, the Blood Realm is too chaotic. The factions inside are too complicated. Not only that, the Vice Palace Master has already intervened in the Blood Realm. Among them, Wu Zun and Prince Ling Feng are in the Blood Realm. I'm afraid that they are in control of more than half of the Blood Realm. Indeed, the Blood Realm was a very special place in the Tianwu continent. It was very chaotic, so it was not truly unified. However, the resources inside were very rich. So many factions were fighting here. But the faction with the most power was still Wu Zun and Prince Ling Feng's faction. Don't worry, since I said so. We can definitely do it. Lin Xian's gaze was firm. Don't worry, after all, there is still Senma College here. With us here, Lin Xian will not be harmed. At this moment, the headmaster Xian also spoke. All right, then we will leave a few elders to assist the young master. The seventh elder and the rest discussed and finally agreed. In the end, they left the ninth elder and the 10th elder, while the rest returned to take charge of the situation. Young master, what should we do next? The ninth elder asked. After all, taking over the Blood Realm was not a simple matter, and they did not have much time left. I still have some warriors under me. Many of them are disciples of the college, and some are from other small factions. Although it's not much, it's enough for now. How about this? Ninth elder, you go to the Immortal Martial Auction and take charge of the situation. You must make the Immortal Martial Auction famous. 10th elder, I will give you some warriors. You should quickly gather the scattered factions and increase our strength. The 10th elder nodded, but the 9th elder was a little confused. Young master, are we going to run the auction? Although the profits from the auction were very high, the cycle was too long, and if there were no treasures, the auction's reputation would quickly decline. Lin Xian did not explain this point. Instead, he took out 2 pill recipes from his storage ring. The 9th elder and the 10th elder were suspicious, but when they took the pill recipes and saw the contents, they were stunned. Then, the 2 of them were shocked. Longevity pill. No, old-time tea. This was what was recorded in the 2 pill recipes. Of course, the longevity pill was not a true immortality pill, but a pill that increased one's lifespan. This pill was useful for all warriors, and even kings could take it. Moreover, according to the effect, it could increase one's lifespan by 30 to 100 years. Don't underestimate this lifespan. Although it was not much for normal warriors, for those elders who were on the verge of death, it was a life-saving straw. Not to mention 30 years, even if it was an extra year, these people would fight over it. One had to know that there was only hope if one was alive. Maybe one day they would break through. Once they died, there would be nothing left. Therefore, no matter if you were an ordinary person or a top king, lifespan was something that everyone pursued. And now, Lin Xian actually had a pill that could increase one's lifespan. This was too shocking. The effect of the old-time tea was similar. It did not directly increase one's lifespan, but it slowed down one's aging through another method. This kind of thing could make people go crazy. One had to know that when those elders reached their old age, their vitality would be depleted, and their strength would decline. They would not be able to reach their peak at all. Just like the sword venerable from before, at his peak, he could reach the state of a half-step king. However, Last time in the remote sky's secret realm, his cultivation had fallen to the 8th level of the venerable realm. Chapter 1244. This was the reason why the blood chi in his body had withered. However, the immortal tea could alleviate this situation. At least, his cultivation level would not drop too much in his later years. If he took it for a long time, it could even stabilize his cultivation level. Furthermore, it had the effect of maintaining one's appearance. This was especially important for female martial artists. Women were born to be beautiful. Other than longevity, they also pursued beauty. This was not old-time tea. It could achieve this. Hence, if these two items were taken out, it would definitely shock the entire Tianwu continent. By then, countless people would go crazy over them. Young master, is this true? The 9th elder and the 9th elder were shocked. No wonder the young master was so confident. With these two miraculous elixirs, he could definitely amass a large amount of wealth. Not just wealth, but also relationships. After all, the elixirs that could increase one's lifespan were extremely precious. There would not be many of them. By then, it would not be something that could be bought with money. Lin Xian had found these two items in the inheritance of the Niwa of Gojoseon. However, the herbs needed to refine these two items were extremely precious and rare. They had probably gone extinct in the outside world. However, Lin Xian had obtained the spiritual herbs needed to refine these elixirs in the remote sky mystery land. Hence he thought of these two elixirs. Even the Niwa of Gojoseon back then might not have refined the longevity elixir. This was because it was too precious. Young master, although these elixirs are rare and precious, others might not believe it. The 9th elder voiced out his worries. Indeed, elixirs that could increase one's lifespan were too shocking. Those martial artists might not believe it so easily. Lin Xian nodded in agreement. However, he had already thought of a solution. Hence, he asked, are there any big forces in the Tianwu continent that have special activities recently? For example, birthday banquets and such? The 9th elder thought for a while and said, Young master, now that you mention it, I remember that there are two. One is the current villa master of the deity Sword Villa. He is celebrating his 1000th birthday. The deity Sword Villa was a top-rank 6th sect. Its strength was only slightly weaker than the House of Kings. It could be said that it was very powerful. Now that the deity Sword Villa's villa master was celebrating his birthday, he would most likely invite the entire sky martial continent. Deity Sword Villa, Lin Xian muttered, then narrowed his eyes. When exactly is this birthday banquet? 2 months later. All right, I understand. Lin Xian nodded. He did not know the villa master of the deity Sword Villa, but he had seen the sword venerable of the deity Sword Villa before. Moreover, he had a certain understanding of the other party's character. Because last time in the remote sky secret realm, everyone was fighting over the blue wind sword, but that sword's sovereign did not make a move against him. It could be imagined that the other party's character was trustworthy. Sword sovereign, I've prepared a big gift for you, Lin Xian said with a smile. Then he asked, anything else? Yes, there's another one. It's the Shen family. Shen family? Lin Xian was puzzled. Yes, it's the Shen family. The 9th elder said. 1 month later, a little princess of the Shen family will celebrate her birthday. This is also a grand occasion in the sky martial continent. At that time, all the young talents of the major sects will definitely gather at the Morong family. The little princess of the Shen family, I've never heard of her? Lin Xian asked. He knew that the Morong family had a little princess, and that was Morong Qingcheng. However, he did not know about the little princess of the Shen family. However, she should not be too bad. Actually, young master does not need to be surprised. Not many people know about this matter. I'm afraid that only the top families know about it. Oh, why is that? Logically speaking, the other party was the little princess of the Shun family. She should not be any weaker than Murong Qingcheng. Such a person was definitely an outstanding talent of the younger generation in the Sky Martial Continent. However, it seemed that not many people knew what the ninth elder meant. Sigh. Actually, the little princess of the Shen family is also a pitiful person. The ninth elder said slowly. She was indeed a stunning person in the past. Furthermore, she was extremely beautiful. She was not any worse than Murong Qingcheng. Lin Xian nodded. However, this made him even more puzzled. Since she was such a person, why did they hide her? Could it be that the Shen family has other motives? It's not that the Shun family deliberately hid her. It's just that something happened in between. 3 years ago, the little princess of the Shen family went on a long journey. It seems that she left the Sky Martial Continent. When she came back, she happened to experience her blood awakening. However, something went wrong during the process. As a result, she suffered a backlash from her blood awakening. As a result, she was burned. Her meridians were damaged. On the outside, her skin was burned. It was rumored that the Shun family also had an extremely powerful blood awakening. At that time, the little princess's blood awakened. Its power was even stronger. Even the king of the Shun family could not do anything about it. Therefore, that year, the little princess of the Shen family lost her cultivation. Her face was also disfigured. After that, although she survived, she lost all hope. Gradually, there was no news of her in the Sky Martial Continent. This time it was her 20th birthday. It seemed that the Murong family wanted to use this opportunity to form a marriage alliance with another family. Marriage alliance? Her whole body was burned. How could she form a marriage alliance? Lin Xian frowned. Although she was burned, her status is still there. After all, she is a direct descendant of the Shen family. I'm afraid that many warriors will come to propose marriage. After all, it's everyone's dream to have a relationship with the Shen family. Sigh. She's also a pitiful person. Lin Xian sighed. What's the name of the little princess of the Shun family? Oh, I know. Her name is Shun Jingqiu. Ninth elder said. What? What did you say her name was? Lin Xian jumped up. Shun Jingqiu. Ninth elder was puzzled. Does young master know her? Lin Xian was stunned. A scene appeared in his mind. It was in an underground palace. A beautiful girl said to him, Lin Xian, you must come to the Sky Martial Continent to find me. In the end, the girl only left behind a crescent-shaped pendant. Then she left. After that, Lin Xian came to the Sky Martial Continent. However, there was no news of Shinjingqiu. The Sky Martial Continent was too vast. It was difficult to find a person. Lin Xian thought that he would never see her again. But he did not expect that he would hear news of her. It turned out that she was the little princess of the Shun family. It turned out that there was no news of her all these years because something had happened to her. The Shen family had probably sealed off all news of Shinjingqiu. No wonder he did not hear anything. Jingqiu, I won't let anything happen to you. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Shun Jingqiu had suffered so much that even a king could do nothing about it. It could be said that there was no hope for her to recover in this lifetime. But it was different now. Lin Xian knew about this. Moreover, he had old-time tea. With this magical tea, he believed that it could completely heal Shun Jingqiu's injuries. Since they had a target, Lin Xian arranged for Ninth Elder and the others to start preparing. Chapter 1245. As for himself, he went into seclusion to refine the longevity elixir and old-time tea. With Lin Xian's current ability, refining an 8th grade elixir was no problem at all. With the addition of 10,000 beast ding, he could even refine a ninth-grade elixir. The longevity elixir was very special. Its grade was not fixed. It could fluctuate. The lowest grade was an 8th-grade elixir. The highest grade could even surpass a 9th-grade elixir and reach the level of a divine elixir. According to the grade, the lifespan of the longevity elixir would be different. Lin Xian could refine an 8th-grade elixir that could increase lifespan by 30 years. He could also refine a 9th-grade elixir that could increase lifespan by 50 years. After thinking for a while, Lin Xian finally refined an 8th-grade elixir that could increase lifespan by 30 years. The elixirs needed to refine. These elixirs were extremely precious and could not be found in the outside world. Lin Xian did not have many of them either. It could be said that the more he used, the less he would have. Therefore, he only took a little of them and planted the rest in the mysterious space of the small sword in his body. Since the purple thunder bamboo could be planted there, other elixirs could also be planted there. Lin Xian tried it and found that the elixirs that he needed to refine the longevity elixir could all be grown there. This made him completely relieved. In this way, he did not have to worry about the elixirs anymore, because the mysterious space was full of spiritual energy, and the growth speed was much faster than the outside world. He could quickly obtain rich elixirs. Not only that, Lin Xian also planted an immortal tea tree in there. The immortal tea did not need to be refined. He only needed to pluck the leaves from the immortal tea tree to make tea. However, the leaves were very rare. The one in Lin Xian's hand only had 30 leaves. He did not eat the longevity elixir, but he drank the immortal tea. He found that the effect was surprisingly good. There were too few leaves in the immortal tea. If there were more leaves in the future, he could give them to his friends. If he took it for a long time, it could definitely strengthen his martial arts foundation and even preserve his youth. Lin Xian was refining elixirs and cultivating elixirs for the birthday party of the little princess of the Shun family. Not only him, but the other families and forces were also preparing because they knew that this was not a simple birthday party. Behind this banquet, there was also the purpose of marriage. Although the little princess of the Shun family was disfigured, she was still a direct descendant of the Shun family, and her father held great power in the family. Therefore, to be able to marry such a woman was extremely good for every family. At the very least, he could climb up the Shun family and even become a core member of the Shin family. Therefore, although those young disciples were unwilling, the elders of the family tried their best to matchmake them. Shuiyu, Wuji Palace. This was a very famous building in the Blood Realm because its owner was a martial saint. Wu Zun's strength was extraordinary, and he had reached the 9th heavenly layer of the Venerable Realm. Moreover, he had a noble status. As the son of the Vice Palace Lord of the War God technique, he could be said to be second only to one person. At this moment, he was sitting in the main hall, quietly listening to the reports from his subordinates. Beside him stood a handsome young man. However, this young man's face was as cold as ice, without a trace of expression. This person was Prince Ling Feng, who was extremely famous in the Tianwu continent. He was also the son of a martial saint and the grandson of the Vice Palace Lord. At this moment, he said coldly, "Although the little princess of the Shun family is disfigured, she is still very useful. Therefore, this time, we must win this marriage." Eldest young master is right. At the side, a few martial saints in armor also responded. Previously, we had some conflicts with the Shun family in the remote sky secret realm, which caused the relationship between both parties to be broken. If we can marry the little princess of the Shun family this time, we can definitely mend the previous cracks and even improve our relationship. At that time, with the full support of the Shun family, I think we can easily take down the War God Palace. Yes, above. The martial saint on the throne nodded slightly after hearing this. Then he asked again, Oh, right. You said that Lin Zhan's son has appeared and is quite powerful. Indeed, he has appeared and defeated Yan Feng and Duan Tianqing. This boy's speed of growth is indeed beyond our expectations. We must kill him as soon as possible to prevent him from causing trouble. The martial saint frowned slightly. Yes, but that boy should be well protected now. I'm afraid it will be difficult to kill him in a short period of time. That's true. Since they know that boy's identity, they must be prepared. The martial saint moved his finger and tapped on the void. Instantly, a sonorous sound was heard, and the entire space seemed to freeze. Instantly, the atmosphere in the hall became heavy. No one dared to say a word. Everyone lowered their heads respectfully. At this moment, the handsome and cold Prince Ling Feng spoke. He's just a young boy. Father, you don't have to worry about him. Just leave it to me. All right, I'll leave the matter of the youngsters to you. The martial saint nodded. He was very confident in his son. After all, Prince Ling Feng's name was not just for show. As for the candidates for the marriage alliance, let fifth brother go. Yes, I'll inform fifth young master now. In fact, it was not only the Aries martial arts school. The Morong family, Mary Wood's Divine Bird Palace, Deity Sword Villa, and other major forces had all selected outstanding disciples of the younger generation to attend the banquet. This time, they must get the marriage alliance. Senma College. This place was extremely peaceful. There was no disturbance because of the little princess of the Shun family's birthday banquet. This was because Senma College was an independent force and did not participate in the struggles of these forces. Its job was to cultivate and nurture talented disciples. Of course, this was an exception in the case of Lin Xian. This was because his father, Lin Xian, had helped Senma College in the past. Therefore, Senma College's Dean Xian was now helping Lin Xian. In the courtyard, the 10th elder's figure appeared with an invitation in his hand. Young master, we have the invitation. We can set off now. Oh, I know. Lin Xian took a deep breath. This time, he must save Shen Jingqiu. This time, Lin Xian only brought Yu Fei with him. Wang Li, Dongfang Xiong, and the others stayed at Senma College and the auction. The Crimson Dragon was in seclusion to refine the dragon's blood. It was just a banquet. With Lin Xian's current strength, he could definitely handle it. As for the 9th elder and the 10th elder, they were hiding in the dark and following him silently. As long as Lin Xian's life was not in danger, they would not show themselves on the way. Let's go. Lin Xian summoned the golden-feathered holy eagle and set off. Naturally, Prince Ling Feng's men found out about his actions. Instantly, the news reached Prince Ling Feng. Humph, he's just a piece of trash. How dare he go to the Shen family's banquet? He's asking for death. Chapter 1246. Humph, he's just a piece of trash. How dare he attend the Shen family's banquet? He's courting death. Prince Ling Feng snorted coldly. In his opinion, Lin Xian must also want to marry into the Shen family and obtain a powerful assistant. However, Prince Ling Feng would not allow such a thing to happen. Go and find a few people. Make a move halfway and cripple that kid. Don't kill him. I want him alive. Bring him here. Prince Ling Feng's voice was cold and ruthless. Yes, I'll arrange it now. Immediately, a martial artist who was like a shadow said respectfully, "Wait. Sir, please give your orders." Hearing Prince Ling Feng's words, the martial artist who wanted to leave immediately stopped in his tracks. That kid is not weak now. Send some 8th level supremacies. Forget it. Send a message to the Skynet organization and ask them to send some people to bring that kid here. Yes, I'll do it now. Immediately, the martial artist left quickly. On the other hand, Prince Ling Feng's eyes flashed, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. So, What if those people know your identity? I'll send the strongest assassin organization to kill you. I don't believe you can escape. Offend me? I'll let you know what hell is. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for not existing in this world. The Palace of Gods of War only has one young master, and that is me. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Lin Xian had completely left Senma College's sphere of influence. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged on the golden feather divine eagle and silently cultivating. Beside him, Yu Fei used his spiritual power to create a spiritual power palace for Lin Xian to use. Not bad. You've improved a lot recently. Seeing the spiritual power palace, Lin Xian nodded slightly. Actually, I have to thank you, Brother Xian. If it weren't for the treasures you gave me, I wouldn't have the strength I have now. Yu Fei was very grateful. His current strength had already reached the sixth heaven of the Venerable Realm. Moreover, his martial soul was very special. It was the dark shadow martial soul, which was good at sensing and spying. It could be said that it was very suitable for intelligence work. Lin Xian nodded, but didn't say anything else. Instead, he closed his eyes and continued to cultivate. He had the most heavenly treasures in his hands, so he would not waste any time cultivating. At the same time, there were 4 figures behind him, like ghosts. They traversed the void rapidly. It's been a day. Now that he's completely left Senma College's territory, we can take action. All right, be careful later. Don't kill that brat. Just cripple him. Don't worry, big brother. We are professionals. Capturing a brat at the 7th heavenly layer is not a problem. The 4 of them were extremely confident as they sped up. In front of him, the golden feather divine eagle spread its wings and soared. Its speed was fast and steady, but all of a sudden, Lin Xian, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes. Beside him, Yu Fei also frowned and looked very serious. Brother Xian, there seems to be a situation. My dark shadow martial soul sensed that there's something wrong with the surrounding aura. Lin Xian was quite surprised by the dark shadow martial soul's function. He didn't expect it to be able to sense such subtle changes. After all, even a demonic beast like the golden feather divine eagle didn't sense any danger. It's indeed dangerous. Be careful later and protect yourself. You don't have to do anything. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Yes, Yu Fei knew Lin Xian's strength. He was someone who could even defeat Meng Tian and the others. Ordinary warriors were probably no match for him. However, he still underestimated this sneak attack. In an instant, the space in front, behind, left, and right suddenly split open. 4 long swords flickered with a cold light and pierced towards Lin Xian's head and heart. This sneak attack was too sudden. As a result, the 4 long swords were less than 10 feet away from Lin Xian. Moreover, this attack was very fierce and contained the powerful aura of an 8th heaven supremacy. 8th heaven supremacy for 8th heaven supremacies. In an instant, Yu Fei's expression changed drastically. He knew that the situation had changed and that someone had launched a sneak attack. However, he didn't expect the other party to be 4 8th heaven supremacies. One had to know that they were 8th heaven supremacies. They were peerless experts in the eyes of the world, yet now there were 4 of them. Furthermore, they were charging toward Lin Xian together. This was a sure death situation. Brother Xian, be careful. Yu Fei roared crazily and was about to stand up and attack. Even the 9th elder and 10th elder, who were hiding in the dark, had grave expressions on their faces. Both of them couldn't help but attack. However, Lin Xian said coldly, "No need. I'll do it myself." Hearing this, the 9th elder and the 10th elder froze. After hesitating for a moment, they didn't attack in the end. In the next moment, a large hand of spiritual energy pressed down on Yu Fei and formed a spiritual energy shield to protect him. On the other hand, a powerful energy burst out from Lin Xian's body and quickly formed 4 large fists that blasted in all directions. The 2 fists in front and behind flickered with purple and white lightning and were extremely violent. The 2 fists on the left and right were pitch black. Black flames danced on them and carried a strange aura. The 4 fists appeared together and quickly blasted towards the 4 long swords. Boom! An earth-shattering sound was heard, and violent energy exploded. The 4 fists were extremely terrifying and instantly forced the 4 long swords back. After the earth-shattering sound, the 4 figures retreated in a sorry state. They slid a few hundred feet in the air before coming to a stop. They were 4 black-clothed men. Their bodies were covered in black fog and were extremely strange. However, the murderous aura on their bodies was extremely monstrous. Although their faces couldn't be seen clearly, their faces were filled with shock. He blocked it? How is that possible? Impossible. How did this kid do it? They were so shocked that they couldn't believe what had just happened. The other party had actually forced all 4 of them back in an instant. How was that possible? One had to know that they were 8th Heaven Venerables and top assassins. Therefore, they were extremely strange, and no one could detect them. When the 4 of them joined forces, they could already kill top figures among 8th Heaven Venerables, let alone a mere 7th Heaven Venerables. However, they had now failed. Damn it, everyone, be careful. This kid is too strange. The leader was a middle-aged man. Originally, he didn't take this mission seriously because the other party was only a 7th Heaven Venerables. In his opinion, the other party had only angered Prince Lingfeng and sent them to assassinate him. However, he now realized that he was very wrong. This wasn't an ordinary 7th Heaven Venerables. It seemed that this mission wouldn't be completed so easily. Then, Yu Fei's eyes widened in disbelief. He knew that Lin Xian was very powerful, but he didn't expect him to be so powerful that he could force 4 8th Heaven Venerables back with one punch. Chapter 1247. Even the 9th Elder and the 10th Elder, who were hiding in the dark, were shocked. It seems that we have underestimated the young master. That's right. Isn't his strength a little too terrifying? Is he really only a 7th level venerable? Forget it. The young master is too mysterious. We can't see through him. What we can do is to support him as much as we can. The 2 of them shook their heads and stopped talking. However, their expressions showed that they were very excited. Lin Xian's strength had exceeded their expectations. This made them even more confident that Lin Xian could lead them to take back the palace of gods of gods. In front of them, Lin Xian stood up slowly after punching the 4 assassins. Then he looked at the 4 of them coldly. Any last words? Leave them, Lin Xian said coldly. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Do you think you can be so arrogant just because you forced us to retreat? The middle-aged man snorted as his killing intent soared. Then the 4 assassins soared into the sky and attacked Lin Xian again. Stubborn. Since that's the case, go to hell. Lin Xian snorted. He stomped his foot and flew out like a bolt of lightning. Humph, he's just a 7th Heaven Honorable. Does he really think he can fight against us? The middle-aged man snorted and shouted, Attack him with all your might. Just leave him with a breath. The remaining 3 assassins responded. Then, a violent aura exploded from their bodies as they unleashed their martial souls. The leftmost assassin's martial soul was a crimson bat. It was attached to his long sword, and he quickly stabbed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, on the other hand, swung his fist and threw a punch. A layer of black flames covered his fist. Boom. In the next moment, the black fist hit the assassin in black. Immediately, the long sword in the assassin's hand burned together with his arm. Then it exploded. The assassin screamed and quickly retreated. He wanted to seek protection from his companions. As expected, the other three assassins changed their direction and charged at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian was faster. Another punch blasted out, directly blasting the injured assassin into pieces. The sky was filled with a bloody mist, and the pungent smell of blood stimulated everyone's nerves. Everyone was stunned. 8th level venerable. That was a genuine 8th level venerable. He was actually blasted apart by 2 punches. This scene was simply too shocking. Damn it, I must kill him. The remaining 3 assassins went berserk and quickly charged towards Lin Xian. This time, the 3 of them moved together, determined to take down Lin Xian. On the other hand, Lin Xian's expression was as cold as ice. Above his fist, a black flame burned fiercely. It was like the fire of hell, strange and cold. Whoosh! Lin Xian used the Void Spirit Illusory Demon Step. His speed was extremely terrifying, and he disappeared from the spot in an instant. Competing in speed? How can you possibly be a match for us? The 3 assassins sneered disdainfully. He quickly turned his body. Fight against it. However, in the next moment, one of them let out a terrified scream. What? How can you keep up with me? This assassin was too terrified. One had to know that as assassins and 8th level venerables, their speed could be said to be extremely fast. Not many people of the same level could keep up with them. However, the young man in front of them had a lower cultivation level, but his speed was faster than theirs. They could not accept this at all. However, Lin Xian did not answer at all. He only raised his palm and slammed it downwards. His palm was covered in black flames like a flaming demonic mountain, and it instantly enveloped the assassin. Bang! The assassin could not dodge at all, and was smashed into a bloody pulp. In just an instant, another 8th level assassin was killed. In just an instant, another 8th level assassin was killed. Shocking. It was really too shocking. For a moment, the entire scene was extremely silent. In the void, there were only black flames crackling and burning. The expressions of the remaining 2 assassins finally changed. They realized that Lin Xian did not kill their companion by luck, but by actual strength. Although Lin Xian was only a 7th level venerable, his combat power had already surpassed theirs. Thinking of this, their bodies were covered in cold sweat. Damn it, the information was wrong. Retreat quickly. You must inform Prince Ling Feng. The middle-aged man transmitted his voice, and then the 2 of them turned around and fled into the distance. Facing Lin Xian, they did not dare to fight at all. Want to leave? It's not that easy. Lin Xian sneered, but he did not chase after them. Instead, he stood in the void with his hands behind his back. Then, a black flame appeared in his eyes and quickly surged out like a cloud. In front, the 2 assassins in black fled quickly, and they were ecstatic when they sensed that Lin Xian did not chase after them. That's great, he didn't chase after them. As long as they can escape this disaster, we must report to Prince Ling Feng when we return and send stronger assassins. However, not long after the 2 of them flew out, one of the assassins in black suddenly screamed. Countless black flames inexplicably rose from his body, burning fiercely. Damn it, get lost! The assassin in black had a pained expression. He quickly circulated his spiritual energy and formed a strong defense to resist. At the same time, a wave formed around him and tried to extinguish the black flames. However, it was useless. In just an instant, the defense on his body was burned, and his entire body turned into ashes in the black smoke. In the end, nothing was left. Seeing this, the middle-aged assassin who wanted to escape was stunned. His muscles stiffened, and he was terrified. He did not dare to escape at all. How could he escape? Ling Xian killed his companion with just a look. Such terrifying strength could only make him despair. Who are you? Are you a human or a ghost? This is impossible. How can you have such powerful strength? In the end, the surviving middle-aged assassin was about to go crazy. Killing an 8th-level venerable with a raise of his hand was probably something only 9th-level venerables and above could do. However, Ling Xian was only a 7th-level venerable. He was not the only one. Even the 9th elder, who was hiding in the void, was dumbfounded and could not believe it. Is this the young master's strength? He's really powerful. Previously, they had some complaints about Lin Xian's order because they felt that the young master was a little arrogant. However, it seemed that was not the case at all, because those 4 assassins were nothing in Lin Xian's eyes. Lin Xian stood in the void with his hands behind his back. The green robe on his body fluttered in the wind. His eyes were extremely deep, and there were flashes of fire in them from time to time. He did not answer the middle-aged assassin's question. Instead, he said slowly, "You didn't run, which means that you're very smart. Tell me everything you know, and I'll give you a quick death. You want to get information from me? Don't even think about it." The middle-aged assassin's expression was ferocious. The black fog on his body rolled, making him look extremely sinister. In the next moment, he burned the spiritual energy in his body and burst out with powerful energy. He quickly retreated. Chapter 1248. His speed was so fast that he was at the peak of the 8th heaven venerable realm. No one of the same cultivation level would be able to catch up to him. It seemed that the middle-aged assassin had used a secret technique to escape. Lin Xian sneered disdainfully. 2 balls of black flame surged out of his eyes and instantly flew into the sky. Then, the 2 balls of flames rapidly enlarged in the void and burned all over the sky. Finally, they formed a black flame cage that instantly enveloped the middle-aged assassin. Boom, boom, boom. An earth-shattering explosion sounded. A black cage floated in the void and trapped the middle-aged assassin. Lin Xian took a step forward and instantly arrived outside the cage. "Even if you kill me, you won't get any information." The middle-aged assassin gritted his teeth. His voice was filled with determination. As an assassin, his life was not the most important thing. Keeping secrets was the most important thing. Lin Xian did not ask any more questions. With a thought, a black flame hand appeared from the black cage and grabbed the middle-aged assassin's head. In the next moment, Lin Xian flipped his palm, and a small black cauldron appeared in his palm. Beast Slave Seal. The black light flickered and instantly disappeared between the middle-aged assassin's brows. Soon, the middle-aged assassin gave up resisting and floated in the void like a puppet. Lin Xian did not kill him. Instead, he planted a beast slave seal on him and made him a complete slave. The flames that filled the sky disappeared and returned to Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian also put his hands behind his back. He had no intention of attacking again. At this moment, there were no obstacles around the middle-aged assassin. However, he did not escape. Not only that, but the black fog around his body dissipated, revealing his true appearance. It was a middle-aged man with a thin face. He wore a set of black soft armor with tiny needles on it. At this moment, the middle-aged man looked at Lin Xian and shouted respectfully, "Greetings, master." Lin Xian nodded slightly. "Return to your organization and gather information for me. Remember, don't expose yourself, and don't let Ling Feng become suspicious." "Yes, I understand." The middle-aged man nodded respectfully. If one looked closely, they would find that her expression was normal, and there were no signs of her being manipulated. This was the power of the 10,000 Beast Ding. With Lin Xian's current Beast Slave Seal, no one below the king level could detect it. "All right, you can go." Lin Xian waved his hand. After that, the middle-aged assassin bowed respectfully again, and then his body turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared in the air. After seeing the middle-aged assassin leave, Lin Xian also returned to the back of the golden-feathered divine eagle. All right, the trouble has been dealt with. Let's go. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged. All right. Only then did Yu Fei recover from his shock. With a puzzled expression, he asked, Brother Xian, are we really going to let that person go? Don't worry, he's my man now. Nothing will go wrong. Lin Xian smiled mysteriously. Yu Fei nodded. Although he didn't understand, he believed in Lin Xian. Therefore, in the next moment, he activated his spirit energy again and condensed it into a palace. Then he urged the golden-feathered divine eagle to continue flying. Yu Fei didn't understand, but the 9th elder and the 10th elder, who were hiding in the dark, were extremely shocked. Did the young master control that assassin just now? It should be. Judging from the assassin's respectful manner and his attitude towards the young master, he definitely controlled him. Otherwise, the young master wouldn't have let him go. The 10th elder also took a deep breath. Isn't this method of control a little too terrifying? Even an 8th heaven, venerable realm martial artist couldn't resist at all. Don't think about it. The young master is too mysterious. We just need to loyally assist the young master. The 9th elder was indeed very excited. After seeing Lin Xian's methods, his confidence increased greatly. The group of people quickly flew towards the Shun family's temporary imperial residence. At the same time, the mysterious middle-aged man also returned to the Skynet organization. Perhaps no one would have thought that the famous assassin of the Shui Yu would have an organization like this. This was a lively street with shops everywhere. The people who came and went were all ordinary people. Even if there were martial artists, they were all weak martial artists. Venerables were very rare. It could be said that this was a very ordinary town. However, the middle-aged assassin landed on the street. At this moment, the black soft armor on his body had disappeared and was replaced by ordinary clothes. Not only that, but he had also changed from a murderous god of slaughter to an ordinary person. Perhaps no one would think that he was an assassin of the Skynet organization. The middle-aged assassin, Falcon, entered a very ordinary shop at this moment. It was a tailor's shop. There were only a dim-sighted old man and a 15 or 16-year-old boy inside. When the two of them saw the middle-aged man, Falcon, walk in, they nodded slightly and no longer paid attention to him. Falcon also nodded slightly. He quickly passed through the shop and came to the backyard. Soon, he walked in front of a withered willow tree in the backyard. With a slap of his hand, a black hole appeared on the ground. Without any hesitation, Falcon leaped into the black hole. In the next moment, the black hole disappeared, and the ground returned to normal. Falcon, who entered the black hole, seemed to have been teleported by a formation and arrived at an extremely mysterious place. This was the Skynet organization. Falcon, didn't you go on a mission? Why are you back so soon? Falcon, who was originally normal, became weak at this moment. There was still blood gushing out of his body as he crazily shouted. The mission failed. Quickly inform Prince Lingfeng. Seeing Falcon on the verge of collapse, the surrounding assassins all panicked. They all rushed forward to rescue him. Falcon, are you okay? He's seriously injured. Quickly send him for treatment. The group of people did not suspect anything. They thought that the mission had failed and Falcon was seriously injured. On the other hand, Falcon buried his face deep into the darkness, but the corners of his mouth revealed a strange smile. Half a month later, Lin Xian and his group arrived at the Windy Nation. This was also an extremely powerful nation in the Tianwu continent. The royal family of the Windy Nation was also a top 6th grade sect. The Shun family's headquarters was not in the Windy Nation, but Shun Lingchuan was here. Shun Lingchuan was the 9th son of the Shun family's head. He was also an elder who held real power in the Shun family. His cultivation had reached the 9th level of the Venerable Realm. He also held many important resources of the Shun family. It could be said that he was an important figure in the Shun family, and he was also Shun Jingqiu's father. This time, Shun Jingqiu's birthday party was held in the Windy Nation. After Lin Xian and his group arrived at the Windy Nation, they felt the festive atmosphere. In the sky, rare beasts flew, and on the ground, there were many chariots galloping. On these rare beasts sat powerful warriors. Obviously, they were warriors who had come from all over the Tianwu continent to participate in the birthday party. These people were all rushing in one direction, and that direction was also the destination of Lin Xian and his group. Chapter 1249. Blue Ice City. The atmosphere in the city was very lively, and the people who came and went were all aristocrats. The 9th elder had already made the necessary arrangements. So Lin Xian was given the best and most luxurious residence in the city as soon as he arrived. This was the power of the Palace of Gods of War, the power of the House of Kings. Lin Xian and the others stayed temporarily, waiting for the banquet to start. During this time, Yu Fei didn't stay idle and began to gather information in the city. Brother Xian, I'm almost done. Yu Fei organized the information and sent it to Lin Xian. Although there are quite a few families here, there are only a few families that have a chance of getting married. Among them, Wu Zun sent a young man called Duan Fei, who is said to be the 5th young master of the Duan family. Mary Wood sent the 7th young master, and the Murong family sent the 6th young master. The Divine Bird Palace sent the 2nd Holy Son. The Deity Sword Manor sent the 3rd Holy Son. Hearing the report, Lin Xian nodded slightly. These families were probably the most powerful and had the most hope of marriage with the Shun family. The other families didn't have much hope, and these people didn't come here for marriage, but to find their own forces to strengthen their families. It could be said that this birthday banquet was basically an exchange between the major forces, an exchange between the younger generation. These people actually treated Jingqiu's birthday banquet as a business deal, and they even want marriage? How despicable! Lin Xian snorted. A bunch of trash. How can they be worthy of Jingqiu? Soon, the day of the birthday banquet arrived. Lin Xian brought Yu Fei, the 9th elder, and the others out of the palace and walked towards the Shin family's mansion. The road was bustling with people, and it was very lively. Along the way, the 9th elder muttered to Lin Xian, "Young master, we're not in a good situation now, so don't make any enemies at the banquet." "I know." Lin Xian nodded helplessly. He knew that the Palace of Gods of War was not in a good state right now. It was not good to make enemies. Therefore, he wouldn't take the initiative to provoke others, but if someone dared to provoke him, then sorry. Just as they were talking, a deep sound came from behind them. It was like thunder, and then the whole ground began to tremble. Bang, 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 bang. It was as if the earth was about to split open. The surrounding warriors also turned their heads, and their expressions changed drastically. F***CK, get out of the way. Berserk beast. The group of people quickly retreated, opening up a path. It turned out that there was a huge golden lion running over from behind. It was an ancient beast. Its entire body was golden, as if it was made of gold. It was extraordinarily mighty. On the back of the golden lion sat a young man with an arrogant look on his face. Originally, there were many people on this road, so no one was riding on their mounts. However, the young man had no scruples as he led the golden lion on a rampage. There were even quite a few martial artists who were too slow and were sent flying by him. The golden lion roared in all directions and galloped like lightning. In the end, it actually ran toward Lin Xian and the others. Wherever he passed, countless strong wind blades were created. They were extremely sharp, cutting out terrifying cracks on the ground. Many of the wind blades even flew toward Lin Xian. Oh no! Yu Fei's expression changed drastically. He could feel at least 10 wind blades flying toward them. Then his expression changed, and he looked extremely furious. The golden lion was unusually powerful. It had reached the level of an 8-star demon general, which was equivalent to an 8-star honorable warrior, or even stronger. Such a demonic beast was abnormally terrifying. Ordinary warriors wouldn't dare to provoke it. Now, they were just walking peacefully, but the other party was finding trouble with them for no reason. Lin Xian's expression was normal. He didn't have any intention to intervene, because such a small matter didn't require him to. Sure enough, the 9th elder snorted coldly. A powerful aura surged from his body. It was like an invisible hand that slapped to the side. Instantly, the dozens of wind blades were sent flying. However, their expressions didn't ease, because the golden lion leaped over their heads and landed in front of them, blocking the entire street. When Yu Fei and the others saw the young man on top of the golden toilet paper, their expressions immediately darkened. Duan Fei, the 5th young master of the Duan clan. He was also the person sent by the Martial Honorable to form a marriage alliance with the Shun family. Hearing Yu Fei's voice transmission, Lin Xian's expression also darkened. He didn't expect to meet the other party here. However, before he could say anything, someone beside him roared in advance. "Who are you? How dare you commit murder on the street and injure the disciples of the Xinxing clan?" A burly man roared crazily. As it turned out, that stretch of wind blades earlier not only attacked Lin Xian, it also enveloped all the martial artists in the vicinity. Therefore, many people were injured now. The wind blades were not simple. They were released by the golden lion and could be said to be extremely terrifying. Therefore, the ordinary martial artists were all injured by the wind blades. Among them, many disciples of the Xinxing clan were also injured by the wind blades. Therefore, the burly man was so angry. When the surrounding martial artists heard the burly man's roar, they were also shocked. The Xinxing clan is actually a 6th-rank sect. I didn't expect it to be them. It seems like this matter is going to be troublesome. Yeah, the Xinxing clan is a 6th-rank sect. Moreover, they have the Xinxing 13 guardians in their sect. They are very powerful. Look at the burly man's aura. He's very powerful. I'm afraid he's one of the 13 guardians. It's possible. Things are going to get serious. The young man riding the golden lion is probably not simple. After all, not many forces would dare to use an 8-star demon general as a mount. Yeah, he's at least a disciple of a 6th-rank sect. It seems like there will be a show to watch this time. The crowd hid in the distance and discussed animatedly. However, at this moment, a disdainful voice sounded from behind. "The Xinxing clan is nothing. How dare you provoke our young master Duan? You must be tired of living." As he spoke, a group of people riding powerful demon beasts quickly came from behind and stopped beside the golden lion. Then, these martial artists all said respectfully to the young man riding the golden lion, "5th young master, are you okay? Are you hurt?" "I'm fine. How could a bunch of trash hurt me?" The young man looked arrogant and sneered disdainfully. The surrounding martial artists were unusually angry. First, they were attacked for no reason. Now, they were called trash. How could they not be angry? However, the other party's group was too big. They did not dare to fight back. However, the burly man from the Xinxing clan did not seem to have such concerns. He had a bad temper to begin with. Moreover, he had just been attacked. Now that he was being humiliated, how could he endure it? "You're courting death. Who are you calling trash? Little bastard, believe it or not, I'll cut your head off and kick it like a ball." Although the burly man knew that the other party's identity was extraordinary, he could not hold it in anymore. How dare you? You're courting death. Duan Fei did not speak. The martial artists beside him were all furious. Chapter 1250. You must be tired of living. Do you know who our young master is? How dare you speak so rudely? Kneel down and cut off your tongue. Then I can spare your life. If you offend us, your Shinshin clan will die a horrible death. On the Golden Lion, Duan Fei sneered. Did you hear that? Hurry up and do as I say. Are you waiting for your clan to be destroyed? Humph, how arrogant. I don't think you can destroy my Shinshin clan. The burly man snorted coldly. A powerful aura erupted from his body. The pressure of an eighth heaven supremacy enveloped the surroundings. Humph, you're only an eighth heaven supremacy. You're a peerless expert in the eyes of ordinary people, but you're nothing to us. I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down and accept your death. You're asking for death. The burly man from Shinshin clan was enraged. He had never been insulted like that. Hence, he stomped his foot and charged forward like a wild beast. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Beside Duan Fei, an elder in gray robes exuded killing intent. However, Duan Fei waved his hand and stopped the elder in gray robes. Elder, there's no need for you to do it. Let me do it. I haven't exercised for a long time. Today, I'll play with him. As soon as he finished speaking, Duan Fei's figure flashed and flew forward like a ghost. In an instant, he arrived in front of the burly man. The burly man from Shinshin clan was overjoyed. He didn't expect Duan Fei to be so arrogant as to fight him alone. This time, he would let Duan Fei know how powerful he was. Raging waves. The burly man threw out a punch. The terrifying fist force surged out like a wave. The power contained in the punch was extremely strong. A seventh heaven supremacy would probably be blown apart immediately. However, Duan Fei sneered. His body became extremely strange. In an instant, he dodged the fist shadows that filled the sky. At the same time, he stretched out his palm and slapped the burly man. Slap. The crisp sound of a slap was heard. Then, the burly man from Shinshin clan trembled and retreated. The fist shadows that filled the sky instantly disappeared. The burly man also retreated in a sorry state. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. There was a clear handprint on half of his face. What? How is that possible? He dodged it. Seeing this scene, everyone around was stunned. Originally, they were very dissatisfied with Duan Fei's group because the other party's attitude was too arrogant and actually insulted all of them. However, none of them dared to make a move. Fortunately, the big man from the Shinshin clan had made a move. Everyone was overjoyed, thinking that the burly man would be able to teach him a lesson. However, he did not expect that arrogant young man to be so powerful. With just one move, he was able to force the big man from the Shinshin clan to retreat. Impossible! How could you break my fist technique? The muscular man from the Shinshin sect also had a look of disbelief on his face. A moment later, he gritted his teeth and charged forward again. However, Duan Fei only sneered in disdain. His body disappeared like a ghost, and the crisp sound of a slap rang out once again. The burly man was sent flying again, and a bright red palm print appeared on the left side of his face. I already told you that you're trash, but you didn't believe me, Duan Fei said disdainfully. Today, I'll properly teach you how trash should speak. After saying that, his figure flashed again, and he quickly flew forward. Not good. Seeing Duan Fei's actions, the burly man from the Shinshin sect's expression changed drastically. In the next moment, he roared, Fleetfoot stride. Now, he did not dare to fight against Duan Fei because Duan Fei's strength far surpassed his. Therefore, He immediately used the fleet-foot stride. Although the burly man had a huge body and was as steady as a mountain when he used the fleet-foot stride, his speed was also extremely fast. Most people present could not even see his trajectory clearly. However, Duan Fei sneered. "Competing with me in speed? You're really looking for death." He sneered, and then his expression became even more blurry. The palm in his hand also slapped down wildly. Slap, slap. A series of slaps rang out. The burly man kept retreating until he finally crashed into a wall. His entire face was completely swollen, like a pig's head. "Elder!" The Shinshing sect disciples were so frightened that their expressions changed drastically. They screamed crazily, and the burly man was so angry that he went crazy. Disgrace, this was definitely a disgrace. Duan Fei was stronger than him. He could have won with one move, but he did not do so. Instead, he kept slapping him. Not only was he slapping his face, but he was also slapping the Shinshing sect's face. The surrounding people were also extremely shocked. They did not dare to speak. There was nothing they could do. Even an eighth heaven venerable was slapped repeatedly. They were no match for him. "How dare you insult the Shinshing sect? I'll fight it out with you." The disciples who were tracking Duan Fei's movements finally could not hold it in anymore. They charged forward as if they had gone crazy. "Stop! Come back, quickly!" The burly man roared crazily. He knew how powerful Duan Fei was. His disciples were no match for him at all. If they charged forward now, they would undoubtedly die for nothing. However, those disciples did not stop at all, as if they had gone crazy. "Humph! A bunch of ants dare to behave atrociously in front of me." Duan Fei was very disdainful. He raised his finger, and several cold rays of light flew out like lightning. "No." Seeing this, the burly man let out a cry of despair. The cold rays of light were so powerful that no one below the eighth heaven venerable realm could withstand them. The cold rays of light were like ice blades, emitting a shocking, murderous aura. As soon as the aura was released, everyone was shocked. Even the crazy disciples trembled and regained their senses. When they saw the cold rays of light flying towards them, their faces were filled with despair. However, they could not dodge at all. Just as the disciples were about to die, the void trembled. An invisible hand seemed to form in the air and instantly slapped the cold rays of light away. "What? He's not dead." Someone attacked. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. The burly man from the Shinshing sect also heaved a sigh of relief. However, Duan Fei's face darkened. Someone actually dared to attack him in front of him. He must have a death wish. In the next moment, his eyes were like lightning as he stared at Lin Xian. "You reckless fool! How dare you attack me in front of me? Break your arms, and I can spare your life. Otherwise you and the people around you will all die." Hearing this, the martial artists around Lin Xian were abnormally terrified. Their eyes were filled with fear. However, Lin Xian did not pay attention to him at all. Instead, he turned to the disciples of the Shinshing sect and asked, "Are you all okay? Thank you for saving us." "Young hero, we're fine." The disciples looked at Lin Xian with gratitude. The burly man kept thanking him. "Thank you, young master. Thank you, young master." Seeing that Lin Xian ignored him, Duan Fei's face became extremely gloomy. He looked at the people of the Shinshing sect and then revealed a sinister smile. "Don't think that you can avoid this just because someone saved you. Today, I'm not happy, so all of you must die. I admit that you're powerful. However, the Shinshing sect is not to be trifled with. If we really fight, I guarantee that you won't have any advantage." "How dare you threaten us?" The guards beside Duan Fei sneered. "Let me tell you, we're from the palace of Ares. Our young master is the 5th young master of the palace of Ares." You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.